thing that Terrell Brown said to me was, I want to apologize to my teammates, to my coaches, to all the Longhorn fans. He said, I feel like I let everyone down. Brown said, I never meant to be a distraction to the team. I'm a good person. He says, I always try to do the right thing, and right now I have to accept my punishment like a man, learn from my mistakes, and he says, I completely understand Coach Brown's decision. Still, Brown said, it's going to hurt. He said, I trained for this one game the entire summer. He said, it's going to be painful to have to watch it from home. Brent?
Right, Lisa, and Mack Brown made the announcement to the team earlier in the week. Jim Trussell, of course, will probe at the replacement at that corner spot and see what he's got. Texas won the toss. They have deferred. So the Buckeyes will start on offense. And the all-purpose kicker for Texas, the left-footed Greg Johnson, who transferred here from Vanderbilt. And the electrifying Ted Ginn is back inside the 5-yard line. So we will see early what the kickoff strategy will be for the Longhorns. Underway, and a booming kick out of the end zone. So here comes Troy Smith, Bob Davie, and what should the folks at home watch tonight with number 10?
Well, Brent, I think an improved quarterback. I think early in his career he trusted his legs more than he trusted his arm. I think the biggest improvement you'll see is he now stands in that pocket and looks to throw first. This guy can make all the throws.
Antonio Pittman, he's the deep set running back. They put a fullback blocker, Stan White, in front of him. And from that formation, White leads the way, and Pittman is stopped. And now city lineup. So for Troy Smith, you recognize the name of the skilled guys, several of the linemen, but note Doug Dadish, the senior from Warren. He was the left tackle last year. He's now moved to center. It means that Alex Boone, only a sophomore on the left side, very impressive in that offensive line here for the Buckeyes.
You're going to see a lot of movement here early in this game by Ohio State's offense. Buckeyes coaches feel that Texas is too good to just line up and play. They have to have movement to slow down Texas.
2nd and 7. Take the handoff. Smith's first pass is complete for the first down, and running in space is Ginn, and he can go. 40, 35, and out of bounds. They caught him in space. And as we take a look at that, Bob Davie, that is the key for the Buckeyes.
And the first thing you're going to notice, Troy Smith rolling to his left. Ted Ginn on the little inside slant route. And when you give a guy with world-class speed that much open space, you see what happens.
The accuracy of the throw there by Troy Smith, enabling Teddy Ginn to make the catch in stride and utilize his speed to pick up a big gain for Ohio State.
At 46, Kirk, right off the bat. And the Buckeyes threatening. The Buckeyes offense is matched against the Texas defense. So if you will, strength against strength because of the quarterback position. First down and 10. And Smith pulls back out. Has time. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. Just a touch shorter. And he might have had Brian Hartline for 6. We check now that Texas defense. And of course, Lisa filled you in on the details of the key story. Veterans up front. And Ryan Palmer, number 29. And he will be working in there. They will substitute Brandon Foster in there along with Palmer. So in effect, you're going to have both of them trying to replace Terrell Brown here tonight. Second and 10. Pittman on a fine cut. And there was daylight there, Bob Davie, for the first down.
And you're going to watch Antonio Pittman. This is a great cutback run. He shows great vision. He gets an excellent block by Rory Nichols, the big tight end. And when I asked Joe Daniels, their offensive quarterback coach, give me one word on Antonio Pittman, he said tough.
Toughness, the power to be able to get in there, and the also great vision. And coach, as you said, nice cutback there to see the open hole in the backside.
Aaron Ross goes over with Ginn off to Troy Smith's left. But they run that option look with Pittman, and Pittman powers just short of the 15-yard line.
When you talk about the impact players for Ohio State, it's pretty obvious. We've already seen number 10. We've already seen number 25, and we've seen number 7. That's a great graphic right there because those are impact guys.
A lot of option play action, couple passes off the option attack from the shotgun. That time a pitch and a big gain. Interesting the way they're trying to attack from the option here early.
And using the fullback again, Stan White in front of Pittman to try and clear another hole on the right side, but he is snagged and brought down. Roderick McElroy, a backup linebacker, number 38, the redshirt freshman, whom they are very impressed with, Kirk.
They feel that they have the defensive speed to be able to win the battle up front at the line of scrimmage and attack downhill. That's what's so surprising about this first drive by Ohio State. Mixing up their formations, mixing up their play calling, very, very balanced, and keeping Gene Chizik's defense on their heels here early in this game.
And if I'm Texas defense right now, don't let number 10 run with that football on 3rd and 4.
And Pittman is out now, and they empty it with Maurice Wells. Smith can't find a receiver, dances, and he is down, and he is covered up by the middle linebacker who was spying, Rashad Bobineau. He's a weak side linebacker a year ago, and 44 keeping an eye on number 10, and it's field goal time for the Buckeyes.
And Gene Chizik, Texas defensive coordinator, loves speed over size. That's a tremendous job by Rashad Bobineau, spying on Troy Smith.
Aaron Petrie, redshirt freshman. This is a 29-yarder. No Nugent, no Houston. So Aaron Petrie. The 28-yarder, and no good. So the drive peters out. Wide left. And now Texas will have their first at bat. So when you come back, you'll see the freshman quarterback from Tuscola, Texas.
Hey, what's up? I can use some help. Come on.
Who is that guy?
D-Wade.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's hot out here, huh?
My dream is to leave the world a better place than I found it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, buddy.
That's awesome.
Yo! Hey, Coach.
The new 2007 Lincoln Navigator. With enough room for, well, the basketball team. Life's calling. Where to next?
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
He's 6'3", weighs 205 pounds, Kurt. Colt McCoy is second start.
He is a gym rat. He is a young man who has worked very, very hard for this opportunity as a freshman. Thought about it, dreamed about it. He's about to take his first snap in a big game as a quarterback at Texas.
That familiar shotgun that Vince Young used and rode to an undefeated season. And on first down, Selvin Young, he's got a little more dash than a year ago when he came back from major knee surgery. And you can see on the first carry of the game, Colt McCoy from Tuscola, Texas. Down about 700, one stoplight downtown. As Kirk told me, it's always blinking.
When you have a young quarterback like this, it's so important for him to get rid of the butterflies. And a lot of times, it's a quick little throw, get the completion out of the way, and then start to manage the offense.
Going without that huddle here just to pick up some rhythm. McCoy keeps it. And Malcolm Jenkins, the corner, makes the stop for the Buckeyes and our city offensive line. So, Colt, you can see, you recognize some of the names, and you see Selvin. Lima Swede had the winning catch, of course. But Justin Blaylock passed up an opportunity to go to the NFL to come back for his senior season. And Colt is very happy to have the big rascal over there at right tackle. 2nd and 7. Pass was low, scooped up, and it's going to be incomplete. Wasn't that a one-hopper? That was a baseball player making the catch there, Quan Cosby, and he took off. In his old sport, that was legal. And our Buckeye defense here, fine front four. But the rest of them, they've got to replace. And Laurinaitis, who started in the middle because of Carpenter's injury in the Fiesta Bowl, he'll have to anchor the linebackers and bring this group along. That's 3rd down and 7 for Colt. What a wonderful, wonderful name for a Texas quarterback. Colt McCoy. Looking to pull the trigger. Batted away beautifully by James Laurinaitis, the linebacker we told you about, making a big defensive play here for the Bucs.
The first thing you're going to see is Vernon Golston, the outside linebacker / defensive end, gets great pressure. Colt McCoy steps up, and the Texas fans wanted pass interference on number 33, James Laurinaitis, the linebacker, but didn't get it.
It's very obvious that Ohio State moving around quite a bit before the snap, hoping to confuse the young quarterback to try to get him to put the ball into coverage.
Here comes Ginn. You saw number 7. You can't wait to see what they do with this punt. Johnson hangs it high. Ginn drifts back. Got it on the 14, and he's covered up and down at the 10-yard line. Michael Griffin, the twin brother of Marcus, who has worked his way into the starting lineup, comes down on Ted Ginn and makes the stop. When we come back, we'll see the stars who are shining for the Buckeyes. Ted Ginn and Troy Smith.
Where are we going for our honeymoon?
A romantic island in the south.
Jamaica?
Credit card miles are blacked out. A little more south.
Antigua?
Blacked out further south.
Aruba?
Getting warmer. Isn't this great? Did you notice? No bugs.
We gotta switch to Capital One.
Get Capital One's new no-hassle rewards. Now with no blackout dates, no earn caps, and no miles expiration.
Hey, it's walrus mating season.
What's in your wallet?
Get full from Taco Bell's value menu.
Bruno, what is the holdup?
I'm full.
Not possible. You are hungry, Bruno. 9-time competitive eating champion. You don't get full.
80 half-pound burrito for warm-up. Hungry Bruno, full! Introducing Taco Bell's half-pound value menu lineup. Now fill up on any of 3 hefty half-pound burritos to keep your stomach and your wallet full. Think outside the bun.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. The low fare from here to there. It's on Southwest Airlines at southwest.com. Lincoln, reach higher. And IBM, what makes you special?
The beautiful Capitol building here in Austin, the great state of Texas. And Bob Davie, you were Texas Aggie defensive coordinator. I know you've got some good thoughts. And right after this first play by the Buckeyes, I want to ask you about the crowd in Austin. On a play fake, Smith rolls out to the right. There's Gonzalez, and that'll be a 1st and 10. Now it's a sellout. It's jam-packed. It was so noisy in Columbus a year ago. Will this disrupt the offense?
Well, Brent, this is one of my favorite places to play all across America because it's a great environment. The crowd noise is not a big factor. You notice all that grass behind the end line right there. And really, that's room for Bevo to graze down there, but it allows the crowd noise to escape this stadium. So I don't think it's much of a factor. In the way Ohio State's offense is playing right now, you can see it isn't.
And Bevo's upset because Uga's in the red zone. And then if you want to check those rascals out, 1st down and 10, and Troy Smith puts it back in Ginn's hands. Short gain this time to the 30. You know, Kirk, as we watch Troy Smith and Ginn, of course, virtually brothers from the Cleveland area. Talk about the maturation of Troy Smith. I know you live in Columbus. You've been so close to it.
Well, he's become a very confident leader over the course of the last year and a half. I think what happened really is the coaches halfway through last season began to become confident in his abilities. They trusted him more, and now he is trusting his own decision-making. So he comes into this atmosphere with this crowd on the road, very similar to the way Vince Young came into Columbus last year. A confident leader who believes in his team's ability to play.
2nd and 7. And Pittman is stopped in the hole by Marcus Griffin. Hard-hitting safety. And let's go to John Saunders in New York. Third down and 7. And we will catch up with John here a little bit later. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator of Texas, 29 straight victories. He has been the coordinator for folks. He was with an undefeated Auburn prior to coming to Texas. Last year's undefeated national championship, and right now Gonzalez is giving him heartburn. Bob Davie, number 11, is stepping up as a big-time receiver here.
And I'll tell you what, is there any question about Troy Smith's arm strength? But he goes to Gonzalez, and anytime you get a safety, number 27, Michael Griffin is a heck of a football player, but they get the safety isolated on Anthony Gonzalez. But the arm strength and a great 3rd down conversion right there, Kirk.
Interesting to see that time Teddy Ginn used as a decoy to clear out Aaron Ross and vacate a wide-open zone. Well-designed play by Ohio State, using Teddy Ginn as a decoy to pick up that 1st down.
The freshman phenom, Chris Wells, from Akron, Ohio, is the tailback. Here is Chris, the number 1 rated running back coming out of high school. Meany is called, and Roderick McElroy is getting a lot of action over there at the will linebacker for Texas. They expect the Bucks to come running at them, and he's a little bit stouter than Drew Kelson, who came to that position from safety.
And one thing you notice, Ohio State, the ability to mix the spread offense, as Kirk mentioned earlier, with the power offense. Texas, an undersized speed-first defense, the ability to line up an I-backs and run that ball right now for Ohio State.
Buckeyes drove down and missed a field goal on their opening drive, but they are coming right back. Now in trouble, has to throw it away. The Texas bench is screaming for grounding, but I believe he got it past the line of scrimmage. So there'll be no call on that. Brian Robinson, number 39, was applying pressure, and now there is a flag that does come down.
The number 10, offense. Still in the pocket, no receiver in the area. Spot foul, lost it down, third down.
And the point there, Troy Smith was inside the tackle box, still in the pocket. That's why it was called intentional grounding.
Yeah, exactly, Coach. And Bill LeMonnier, fine referee from the Big Ten. They got this right. Rick Nelson is his umpire.
Keep in mind, you can throw the football away if you are outside the tackle box. Excellent call right there by the officiating crew to correct that call and get it right.
As a result, it'll be third down and 14 with Pittman back at running back, and they move him out as an added receiver. Smith stayed with it as long as he could, and then they swarm all over him. Getting back to the original line of scrimmage, Marcus Griffin and Bobineau are there again, and the Buckeyes will be forced to punt, and it'll be one of their veterans, A.J. Trapasso, who was their punter a year ago, coming onto the field.
And Texas, the last 5 years in college football, has blocked more kicks, Brent and Kirk, than any other school in the NCAA.
Got an injured player, as you can see, down on the ground. So while we have that, let's now check in with John Saunders back in New York. John?
Brent, thanks a lot. Time for the Sports Center 30 at 30 update. First, news from Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish Brady Quinn had 3 touchdown passes today as they blast out Penn State. And Roger Federer wins today the U.S. Open, becoming the first player since '68 to reach 6 consecutive Grand Slam finals. Brent.
Thank you, John. And one of their fine safeties, Marcus Griffin, and Horns and their fans are really happy to see him up and walking off the field. He's a good one. Back deep is Aaron Ross. Bob mentioned blocking punts, but they just lost their best punt blocker, Marcus Griffin, with a record 6. Stepped off the field right now, and Trapasso will punt it toward Ross. High, booming punt. And the Horns let it go into the end zone for a touchback. It'll come out on the 20-yard line, where again we'll be taking a look at the freshman quarterback, Colt McCoy. Only his second start, and it's against the top-ranked team in the nation.
Today's singular All-American flashback, Earl Campbell. This native Texan used an unprecedented blend of strength and speed in becoming one of the all-time great Longhorns. His career was highlighted by his 1977 season when he led the nation in rushing and scoring, becoming the University of Texas' first Heisman Trophy recipient. Text VOTE to 87654 now on your Singular Wireless phone for a chance at a trip to the national championship game.
Introducing the world's smallest camera flip phone. Take up to 9 pictures with one push of a button. The Pantech C300, only from Singular. Beautiful features, fashionably small. Singular, raising the bar.
When Susie and I retire, we'll be taking trips like this whenever we want. It's a good thing we've been planning.
At Pacific Life, giving you the right tools to help you meet your financial goals is what we're all about. As you look to the future, look to Pacific Life. Ask your financial professional about Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
This is the supply line, and it's connected to the angle stop.
Hey, Dad, can I help?
Not right now, Jake. This is a grown-up job.
Okay.
Hey, buddy. Want to hold the flashlight for me?
Okay. What's that?
It's a supply line.
Supply line?
This is an angle stop. The supply line goes.
Emmitt Smith, NFL legend, gridiron god, master of the Mambo?
You had nice legs.
Dancing with the Stars, live 2-hour premiere, Tuesday at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
John Saunders back in New York with the Prime Time Pulse. Over on ESPN right now, Georgia leading South Carolina 10-0. And on ESPN2, LSU blowing out Arizona 31-0. Brent, back to you.
Sophomore Jamal Charles. He's number 25. This will be his first series. Folks, he's got a little serious speed. 4th in the NCAA 100 meters. And he did that while also carrying a little bit of a football load without even working hard at it. So he's the running back alongside Colt McCoy. And he gets the first handoff to start this series. And there is that speed. A first down to the 32-yard line. Marcus Freeman makes the stop. It's a 12-yard run. Well, we've talked about Colt McCoy. We've mentioned Tuscola, Texas. Where is it, folks? There it is. A population of around 700. How far down here to Austin? 250. Look at that capacity, 80,000. Bob Debbie, you ever recruit anybody from Tuscola, Texas for the Aggies? Sweet play now, and there's the pitch. Another first down, and Charles is going left, right.
You talk about Tuscola, Texas, as we see Colt McCoy run the option. You know it's small in the state of Texas when they don't have a Dairy Queen in that town. You guys have all been through these small towns. If there's no Dairy Queen, that's a small Texas town. As we look at his dad, what's going through his mind right now?
He's a football coach. Colt is knocked down and on the pitch, and Kirk, they're running this beautifully with Charles, the running back.
Well, Ohio State is crashing down on Colt McCoy, and give him a lot of credit here for being prepared to make the pitch. And once he makes the pitch, there's a little bit of a difference now with Jamal Charles, Brent. As you indicated, the speed that he has to get to the outside. Ohio State right now having a tough time adjusting to that speed of Jamal Charles.
Selvin Young, the veteran, who cocks his stance a little bit, now replaces Charles. And there is the quick pass for the first down, his first completion, and it goes to Quan Cosby. He was in the Los Angeles Angels organization and came on back and played football. He was a very highly recruited high school wide receiver, though. And a great plan by Greg Davis, again, doing the things that Colt McCoy is most comfortable doing, some options, some quick passes. There's that option look again, and McCoy's going to take a lick. Battles away with Laurinaitis, number 33, hanging on.
33 Laurinaitis on the tackle.
I really like Laurinaitis, the young linebacker. Played last year some as a freshman. Watch the speed from the inside out. Excellent job defending the option right there.
Young linebacker who had to step in for Bobby Carpenter, Brent, as you remember, in the Michigan game, and then also the Fiesta Bowl against Notre Dame. He's become a leader this year for them.
Second down and 11 as the Horns mount a drive. Daylight back on a cutback run to the 25-yard line. The veteran from Houston, senior Selvin Young, 12 more yards, and they are ripping huge holes now in that defense, and they're doing it with just a couple of huddles along the way. A little counter, and you see big Justin Blaylock at 340 pounds pulling around. Brent, you mentioned Selvin Young has dropped 15 pounds since the Rose Bowl. He does look quicker to me, Kirk.
And all of a sudden, Texas offensive line, the quick tempo, they're starting to control the line of scrimmage.
Selvin came out and then went back in. And so Charles is back off to the sideline. And on first down, Accurate again into Selvin Young's hands.
You know why he said, I got this one? He wants to make the catch. He said, hey, I got it, young guy. Actually, Selvin Young's a big brother to Jamal Charles. He probably thought, hey, little guy, let me take this one and see what I can do with it. 15 pounds off of Selvin Young. Being healthy for Selvin Young. He has waited to become the leader with being a roommate of Vince Young last year. It's his turn, and he's taking advantage of it right now.
2nd down and 7. McCoy and the Horns mounting a drive. Bump incomplete. Interference is called. Swede, the intended receiver. Malcolm Jenkins bumps him. One of the big questions.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And he met number 2, of course, Jenkins, as you can watch.
And here's what happens, Kirk, when you don't play the ball as a defensive back. You saw Malcolm Jenkins just try to play through Lima Swede. That was an obvious call.
I was going to say, one of the big questions about the Buckeyes, the defensive backfield. Jamal Charles, number 25. He's now the running back. The officials are going to respot the ball right now. And let's see where they finally put it down. I think they put it down at about the 7-yard line.
You know, the nerves that we talked about for the young quarterback, you can forget about him now. He is settled into this position. He's in a comfort zone, which is what Greg Davis wanted to do. And now all of a sudden, he's just worrying about executing the game plan.
And how about Texas? No huddle basically on this whole drive with the redshirt freshman quarterback.
In trouble off the blitz. Steps away from him. Fires end zone. Incomplete. He eluded the corner blitz, but there was enormous pressure, and the Buckeyes did a fine job of also defending the receiver in the corner.
Well, the first thing you see, the athletic ability right now, is Malcolm Jenkins misses Colt McCoy, and then the athletic effort by Lima Swede right here comes up with a tremendous one-hand catch.
But it doesn't count.
Ooh.
When you're out of bounds and you drop it. It's 0 for 2. 2nd down and goal. Snaps it off. This one's complete. Short of the end zone. Fumble. Picked up on the run now by Washington. Donald Washington coming down the far sideline. Bumped out of bounds on the Buckeye bench. And big number 33, James Laurinaitis, in the middle of it against Billy Pittman.
When you talk about things that win football games, maybe win national championships, I want you to watch this effort by James Laurinaitis right there to strip the football out. Those things win these kind of games, maybe win national championships.
And Billy Pittman there fighting to get extra yards, had the ball out far, trying to stretch it out, and a big impact there by Laurinaitis, jarred it loose before his knee touched. Big turnover and a big sequence of events here for Ohio State.
And now do you get Ted Ginn involved in some kind of reverse or something right now? Take advantage of this momentum if you're Ohio State.
Maurice Wells is the running back.
Timeout on the field. Coach's challenge.
So this is the earliest challenge that we have heard of. And Mack Brown telling us that he would take the challenge to the 4th quarter. I am almost stunned by this after having a conversation with Mack. He knows it's already been reviewed up in the booth. There was time to see it. Did you see anything, Bob? Does he have a point here?
Brent, I'm as surprised as you are, because no, he doesn't have a point. That ball is clearly stripped out, and we were sitting on the couch yesterday with Mack Brown.
Oh, absolutely.
This conversation came up. He said he is going to save his timeouts because the point is they're being reviewed anyhow in the press box.
And that we had a perfect angle. We got enough Texas fans they can sneak a peek up here and say, Mack, turn it over now. Because the coaches have told us there's no use using that challenge. You're going to need it late. And this is pretty obvious, isn't it, that Laurinaitis has got the ball out, Kirk?
Well, the ball is out, and when you're a coach, and you might sit on the couch and talk about, I'm going to save it for the fourth quarter, but that was such a big point in this football game that he felt, maybe he talked to Pittman and said, wait, were you down?
It may be a big point right now, but I guarantee you there'll be
He'd like to have that back.
I guarantee you that's how football operates. First down and 10 at midfield here. It's already been confirmed by replay, so there's nothing they can do, and they've told the Texas sideline, somebody has made a mistake down. That's simply, you would not do that in that situation.
And they lose the time. They lose the timeout here.
He is unhappy. Akina, the assistant coach, and Texas loses a timeout on top of it, remember, on a coach's challenge. So it's 1 versus 2. It's Texas, it's Ohio State, and the passions are running high, folks.
I thought Coach Davey had an interesting point here. Big turn of events in the momentum of the game. If you get Teddy Ginn isolated one-on-one, do you take a shot down the field right here?
And he is isolated one-on-one on Aaron Harris.
Smith fakes, looks to go deep. Diving Gonzalez, catch at the 25. What a pair of hands. It was Gonzalez against the Michigan Wolverines, who rose up and made that huge catch as Ohio State came back to win that game in Ann Arbor. A very underrated receiver, because all we do is talk about number 7.
And Anthony Gonzalez comes all the way across the football field. Again, man-to-man coverage, Kirk. Michael Griffin, he's not going to match up on Anthony Gonzalez.
That's what makes the Ohio State attack so good, is they have 3 or 4 receivers. If you man up a safety on Anthony Gonzalez for Troy Smith, that's pitch and catch.
Maurice Wells splits out of the backfield, the running back. They go empty with Troy. The offensive line gives him plenty of time. A little bit high, and it should have been caught, though. It was not a perfect throw to Wells, and that's Maurice, remember, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida. But I thought from the naked eye that the youngster should have grabbed him.
I think that's why Maurice is a running back and not a wide receiver. He comes down and just runs the curl route. Again, a great window to throw the football through right there. Troy Smith, you're exactly right. That football should have been caught.
Should have been caught. They went to the empty set. They flexed the tailback out. And that's one that Maurice Wells knows he's got to make that catch.
This is the second time that Ohio State has mounted a serious drive. You figure they've got to come away with something. There was movement in the offensive line. This is going to cost them a big 5 yards. And Kirk, I want to go back on a point on that first drive that failed with the missed field goal. You said that Jim Tressel does not have his security blanket this year.
He does not have the security blanket, and one of the things that he was concerned about coming on the road was the conditioning factor in the heat. And Brent, we talked about this before the game. The one thing that's for sure is the depth on their offensive line. They're playing their entire second unit of the offensive line. And if they don't have a chance to score, not having Mike Nugent or Josh Houston is a major concern for them after missing that first field goal. But the second unit right now in there, depth, a big priority for Ohio State in the heat.
2nd and 15, and here's Smith. Got Gonzalez again. What a combo. A first down, and how about the strength of this arm on this throw? There are some scouts who are going to take note when he rifles this one to the sideline. Folks, he's a little undersized for Sunday ball, but he's a good-looking quarterback.
And Brent, you remember our conversation with Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, yesterday? He said they are going to know on every snap where number 7 Ted Ginn is. They better right now change that plan a little bit and find out where number 11 is for the Buckeyes.
At the 12-yard line, 11 is over on the slot, the formation, and Smith is eaten up by that defensive front. That was Derek Lokey, the defensive tackle, nose man.
And see, Coach, I think that all the talk this week about Terrell Brown not being in, him being the best cover corner for Texas, when you talk to the Texas coaches, Aaron Ross is the best cover corner. What you lose in Terrell Brown is an experienced guy, a physical guy, and now you're putting in young corners and safeties who have never been in that situation. So it wasn't so much how Teddy Ginn would benefit. It was Anthony Gonzalez and some of the other Ohio State receivers, and right now, that's how Ohio State's trying to attack him.
Georgia, given the old ball coach fits in that one down center. Smith rolling the pocket. Conley fires touchdown to the corner of the end zone down there. It was a beautiful throw for the score. And he just worked Anthony Gonzalez. And there is one of my favorite characters from Columbus, folks. Does he look like the great old coach? And Gonzalez with the touchdown puts the Buckeyes ahead.
And I'll tell you something, Troy Smith is on fire. We saw him outplay Brady Quinn in the Fiesta Bowl. Tim Crowder right here, number 80, loses contain. And how about that bullet to Anthony Gonzalez?
The patience there by Teddy Ginn, and then picking on Brandon Foster, who was in for Terrell Brown for a touchdown.
Petrie adds the extra point. So remember how this started. It was a 1st and goal for Texas going in from the 7-yard line. Laurinaitis forced the turnover. And then it was Gonzalez.
And Kirk just mentioned it. Brandon Foster locked up one-on-one with Anthony Gonzalez. The Buckeyes take advantage of it.
And because of their ability to mix it up, every time Troy Smith has a ball fake, the linebackers freeze. He had to get outside of the pocket by a lot of time. Anthony Gonzalez made 2 or 3 moves on Foster to finally have a chance to make the catch and to make that catch for the touchdown. But picking on the young, inexperienced secondary.
We got an update. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt?
Brent, do I ever have a Taco Bell update for you from Tallahassee? Florida State seems to be suffering the effects of the short week against Troy. Omar Hogabook's pass is tipped, caught by Gary Banks. The Trojans punch it in on their next snap. 17-10 Troy in the 4th quarter.
Holy moly. Where did that come from, Kirk?
Huh? I don't think we talked about that one on College Game Day. I don't think anybody expected that. The Noles just looked like a team on a mission against the Miami Hurricanes. They went to sleep.
There were points of that game, though, and I thought both teams were sloppy on offense.
Oh, yeah.
I watched you guys down there on Monday night. 1:04 to go here in the 1st quarter, and so Texas reveals a weakness as they lose a starting corner, and the Buckeyes take advantage of it. Next week, a resurgent Nebraska team heads to Los Angeles in search of an upset. They will take on number 3 USC. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines next Saturday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. College football lives here, so we'll take this show on the road. We'll go to the West Coast. And a question for you folks, who's going to be number 2? You figure the loser of this game will slip. Notre Dame, very impressive today in beating Penn State. USC, well, they were on the road, dumped Arkansas, and they're taking the week off. So they could rise up to number 2. We'll have to wait and see when the polls come out. Selvin Young, the veteran, on the fake now by McCoy. Going deep, and that was Andre Amos, the defender, who just knocked it down at the right instant. Billy Pittman, who had a big game last year in Columbus.
And you're going to see Billy Pittman get inside Andre Amos on the slant route right here. He ends up in great position. No safety in the middle of the field. And Andre Amos over the top a little bit right there. Might have got away with the call.
2nd down and 10. Selvin stretches it to the right to Daylight, breaks free on a cutback, stumbling to midfield. "30-yard burst by Selvin Young."
And amazing what 15 pounds a difference it makes. Selvin Young right here, excellent speed. You say Blaylock right there gets a little block on Laurinaitis. Then in the open field, he breaks down Andre Amos. I'll tell you what, that weight loss helped this running back. He looks quick.
Alex Barrow and Todd Denlinger are in the defensive line, trying to stretch it now with the youngster Charles as the 1st quarter comes to an end here in Austin, Texas. Both teams threaten. Ohio State scores, and number 1 leads number 2. And ESPN Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
What's up? I can use some help. Come on.
Who is that guy? D-Wade.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's hot out here, huh? My dream is to leave the world a better place than I found it.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, buddy.
That's awesome.
Yo! Hey, Coach.
The new 2007 Lincoln Navigator. With enough room for, well, the basketball team. Life's going. Where to next?
Don't miss Jimmy Kimmel in Primetime with Ben Stiller. Wednesday at 10, 9 Central only on ABC.
Your first home. Your first college savings plan. Your first day as your own boss. Your first home away from home. Your first dance as father of the bride. There are different firsts for different folks, but the one thing they all have in common is success. From college planning to retirement planning, First Financial helps you succeed, so your next first is just the first of many. First Financial Bank, another step on the path to success.
They work hard, they love their country, they play by the rules. But the cars, steel, and appliances they used to make are now being made overseas, where workers are paid $3 or $4 a day. My opponent supported the trade agreements that cost us these jobs. He says it's just business. I say it's wrong. I'm Sherrod Brown. I approve this message. In the Senate, I'll judge U.S. trade agreements by this standard. Are they fair to America? Do they put Americans first?
Weather Now, your early morning wake-up call with the market's most accurate weather information from Ultimate Doppler 9. Good morning, Tri-State.
An elderly woman found murdered in her home. Details after the game.
Ammunition and lots of it for the big gun. When they score down here, they loaded up and fired. With no Vince Young, so that cannon's kind of quiet down there so far. Second down now, 6 yards to go. Texas trailing by 7. It's the inside handoff, and they're trying to muscle their way toward the first down line. Again, Jamal Charles. And our Pack Life game summary. And our first quarter stats look like this. Kirk, what do you make of that?
I think Texas is trying to obviously run the football with their two talented running backs, trying to get it to the outside, take pressure off their young quarterback. And for Ohio State, it's been mixed, but they also are trying to go after the youth in the secondary with Terrell Brown out. It's not so much just Teddy Ginn, but we've seen Anthony Gonzalez very, very involved here early for the Buckeyes.
From the shotgun, Texas also has run the option look, 3rd and short. And the Buckeyes swallow the youngster. It is Curtis Terry, the junior linebacker from Cleveland, Ohio.
And here's what I see, the difference between Texas offense and Ohio State offense. You see Texas running out of the spread right there, going sideways, where Ohio State, Kirk, in that situation can line up in the I formation and run downhill. One of the disadvantages of the spread offense right there. That's short yardage.
And Quinn Pitcock that time got the penetration to be able to get in there and force the Texas line back.
Curtis Terry, one of many of those fine football players, played for Ted Ginn's father back in Glenville High School. Cleveland area, what a story that is. Greg Johnson in now to punt. And they're trying to keep it away from Ted. And it's inside the 20. It'll roll down about the 16-yard line. Well, some folks said we'd have a game up into the 50s. Beginning to look like we're going to be lucky to have one into the 20s. It's Saturday Night Football. It's 1 versus 2.
Okay, people, let's gather around. Gather around if you would, please. Let's bring it in and listen up. Yeah, let's powwow. This is Team Communication Week. I want you to think about what that means. You do your job, so I can do my job.
There's an exciting sound in travel. Southwest Airlines Ding. Get exclusive low fares sent directly to your desktop. Deals that are only available for a limited time and only by downloading Ding at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
This lush expanse of green does more than beautify our world. Trees help clean the air of carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. As North America's largest recycler, last year alone, Waste Management recycled enough paper to save over 41 million trees. From everyday collection to environmental protection, think green. Think Waste Management.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors, the few, the proud Marines.
I'm Dallin Hart Jr. Welcome to Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler.
New fits, new comfort, new styles. Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler. New fits, new comfort, new styles.
Hey, I'm Dallin Hart Jr. Test drive a pair of jeans from Wrangler Jeans Company, and you can win your own test drive around the track with me. But I'm driving. Go to Wrangler.com to find out how to enter.
Tuesday, the Dancing with the Stars season premiere on ABC.
John Saunders back in New York with your prime time pulse. Over on ESPN, Georgia's just kicked a field goal to push it to 15-0. Meanwhile, LSU just continues to crush Arizona 38-0. Here's the score right now. Brent, back to you.
We are back just past the top of the hour. 8 Central Time here in Austin, Texas. I'm Brent Musburger with Bob Davie, Kirk Herbstreit, and Lisa Salter. Nice to have you along with us tonight. 1 versus 2. Ohio State leads it by 7. Troy Smith fires another completed pass. And, you know, Troy Smith and Ted Ginn are such good friends. Let's take a look at them.
We've known each other since we were about 6 or 7 years old. It started, you know, back home in the streets of Cleveland. Troy's like a brother. When I got down here, he took me under his wing, make sure that, you know, I got to my right spots, you know, as far as on the campus. It's a real deep, strong relationship, and, you know, hopefully we'll be able to be brothers, you know, our whole life.
I really recommend the article on Ted Ginn Sr. in the issue ESPN, the magazine. I wish Ted Ginn was on the cover instead of Terrell Owens, but that's a different story. It's a wonderful, wonderful story about an inner city school and what could be done for youngsters like Troy Smith, who came from nowhere, and Ted Ginn Sr. basically adopted him and moved him in with the family. Now, Sr. had a game. There he is, folks. There is a guy who means so much. He started as a security guard at that high school I read back in Glenville. And I think now he's got 21 youngsters on scholarship tonight. And, you know, congratulations to him and men all across this country who work with youngsters. And there is Ted Ginn Jr. 2nd down and 10 now. There's Smith. High, incomplete. They went for Ginn that time. Aaron Ross with the coverage.
Aaron Ross is the best covered corner on Texas. He a lot of times is on an island against Teddy Ginn. Pretty good coverage, but if you notice, you can see Michael Griffin cheating just a bit to help out Aaron Ross in case Teddy Ginn moves to the middle of the field, Coach. And having that safety is a nice security blanket for the corner, Ross.
It's like having an eraser back there. It eliminates any mistakes a corner may make.
3rd and 10. Smith tries to pull out in trouble. So elusive. Incomplete. No one really had a chance to catch it, but Ginn had cut over in that direction. And Smith learning to fight another day.
Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator from Texas, making some adjustments, bringing pressure from a different ways. And I think that's the adjustment that Gene Chizik, again, the defensive coordinator, trying to make here. He is a coach that has won 29 straight games as a defensive coordinator. What's interesting is he went Auburn undefeated. And also was, of course, last year at Texas, won a national championship, one of the best in the business.
He was sitting down. One of the rare moments you see him sit down, and you saw him stand up in that coach's booth towards the end. Trapasso hangs a beautiful punt. Aaron Ross back deep, fields it at the 17-yard line. And he is down. We'll take a break. 12:13 to go. Number 1, Ohio State. Their first visit ever to Austin, Texas, and they lead it by 7.
Most kids, they make a bad choice, they get grounded. Then there's kids that make a bad choice. Those kids get sent here.
We want to start a football team.
Exactly.
This Friday.
Hey! You don't know how to spell Mustangs? You have got to be kidding me!
One goal.
What is this? A nose guard.
A second chance.
If you accept this challenge, gonna be winners.
The Rock. Gridiron Gang.
Who are they? They accepted the challenge.
Rated PG-13.
This is not good. What if I get hurt and can't work? Wait, I have Aflac. They give me cash to help pay for groceries, the car, even the cable bill. Lucky me.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, and my parents are coming too.
Introducing Red Zone Deep Cleansing Body Wash. The active formula with microbeads. Cleans deep down to the pore.
I thought you said he was a fan.
Old Spice Deep Cleansing Body Wash. Nothing cleans deeper.
4 teams, 2 coasts, 1 memorable Monday night. Joe Gibbs and Washington begin their championship run against former Redskin Brad Johnson and the Vikings. Then Charger star LaDainian Tomlinson visits Randy Moss and the Raiders. Vikings, Redskins, Chargers, Raiders. Starting at 7 Eastern, a doubleheader season premiere of ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Yes, indeed. The football season's upon us, and Monday Night Football moves to ESPN. Mike Tirico. Heard him there on the promo for the 2 games. I spoke with Dick Vermeil, one of the broadcasters on the second game, with Brad Nessler and Ron Jaworski. Looking forward to the Chargers game out west with the Raiders. Hasn't done a game since he worked the Rose Bowl with me back when with these Ohio State Buckeyes rallying to beat Arizona State. Here is Colt McCoy for Texas, snapping one off, incomplete. And now it's time for our Aflac trivia question. Let's see what the fellas came up with. What was the first regular season number 1 versus number 2 matchup? Teams ranked in the top 2 now in both polls. Remember the AP poll, that goes back in the late 30s. And then the coaches poll came along. So what was the first number 1 versus number 2 matchup? Second down and 10. Corners soften up. Corey throws in underneath him, but well short of the first down here, Kirk. And right now, let's check in with Matt Weiner.
Well, Brent, Florida State is on the comeback against Troy. They have just 28 yards rushing. They've gone to the air. Drew Weatherford, 29 of 42, 329 yards in that touchdown pass to Chris Davis. Tied at 17, Seminoles drive.
The score in a little order.
You imagine poor Jeff Bowden if they were to accidentally lose that game? He would go from he's a hero to right back to being on the hot seat.
I'm sure old Bobby wouldn't catch a little flack for that.
He always seems to fall down to his son.
Yeah, I don't know. Troy would be a big one down there. Third down and 3. Incomplete.
It's amazing here early in this game for Ohio State, rotating numerous players in and out. Jim Tressel told me this week that his goal in the first half was to play 57 guys. 57 players, and we've seen the offensive line, the entire group rotating. That time, the entire second unit, the defense was lined up. They want to try to survive the first half by rotating players in and then go back to the starters in the second half. They're really concerned about the heat and humidity down in Austin.
Greg Johnson, left-footed punter in, and missed again. Is back there waiting again. Driving it. And here comes Ginn. Swallowed at the 30-yard line. So Ohio State leads Texas by 7-0 here. And the Buckeye Band is with us. It's Saturday Night Football on ABC.
Traffic. It's gridlocked all the way into downtown. All 4 lanes are...
A new level of strength. A new level of quality. Introducing the GM 100,000-mile warranty. A new level of confidence.
You're gonna get what you need. Gonna get what you need. You're gonna get what you need.
With courtesy transportation and roadside assistance, it's the best coverage in America from the biggest brand in America.
You're on the goalpost truck, you're on the car, I'm on lookout. Berg, what are you wearing, spandex?
Yeah, I got them out of my mom's drawer.
It's very sexy.
You think?
No. Yeah! Go, 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 go.
This is gonna look great in my yard.
Bergwood?
Is the strength of Allstate behind your favorite college football team?
Jerry Springer. He may be the king of talk.
Everything hurts. My hair hurts.
But when it comes to his dancing,
I don't have a prayer.
Words can't describe it. Dancing with the Stars, live 2-hour premiere Tuesday at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines, the low fare from here to there. It's on Southwest Airlines at southwest.com. General Motors, a new level of quality, a new level of confidence. And Aflac, ask about it at work.
So on this night, the Stars have come out for number 1 versus number 2, with number 1 leading it by 7. And there is LeBron James, who, if he'd gone to college, to a lot of folks, it would have been Ohio State. He's just one of many sports and movie stars who are with us here tonight. Torrey Smith trying to air it out, going deep, and he overthrew Mr. Ginn. And that's hard to do, folks.
We just talked about how Texas is trying to use a safety in the middle. That time, they were not able to get Michael Griffin to the middle. They're blitzing more and more on Troy Smith to try to get the pressure to slow down his momentum. That time, he had time to throw. He had a one-on-one matchup that he wanted on the outside. Aaron Ross by himself, isolated against Teddy Ginn. And if he puts a little bit more air on that football, that's a touchdown and a big play for the Bucs.
2nd and 10. Getting back with the power running game and kicking. So our Aflac trivia question regarding number 1 versus number 2. Both polls. When is the last time? Remember now, regular season, not a bowl game. When was the first one of the 1 versus 2s? There it is right there. October 12th, 1963. Darrell Royal won that one in the regular season, went on and won one in a bowl game against Navy, and captured a national championship. 3rd down and 6.
Again, you have Gonzalez on the safety in the slot.
Throwing in underneath to Rory Nickel, the first catch of the night by the tight end, and Robert Joseph, a backup safety, makes the start.
Good job here the last 2 series by Texas. Again, Gene Chizik bringing a lot more pressure and mixing up the looks, just trying to get Troy Smith off balance a little bit and get his receivers and Troy to the point where they don't have quite the rhythm that they had there in the first quarter.
The Paso punting, and Ross is back deep. Boy, he's got a big leg, doesn't he? At the 22-yard line. And let's check in now with Matt Weiner on a in-game Sports Center report. Matt.
All right, Brent, Florida State has stormed back to take the lead against Troy after an interception. Joe Surratt, the fullback, from 4 yards out. The Seminoles still only have 48 yards rushing in this game, but they do lead Troy by a touchdown inside 2 minutes.
And I'll tell you what, fear of embarrassment sometimes is the greatest motivator, and I think that's the Seminoles right there.
And Troy might have gotten a little nervous there, thinking about what they were about to do.
Got to wonder about the Horns struggling here with Colt McCoy. They completed a pass to Swede, short of the first down marker. And tonight's area of coverage brought to you by Outback Steakhouse as you look down on our sold-out scene here. Texas Memorial Stadium. They're going to enlarge it even more. That bottom part there, they're going to tear it all out at the end of this season, close it in, have some more big old luxury boxes for these Texans who love this football team down here.
And how about that big Godzillatron, that giant scoreboard we see right there in that end zone?
Biggest in the world.
But I tell you what, I've been in this state enough. A&M next year, Texas A&M, will build one 2 square feet bigger.
They better worry about beating the Horns one of these.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Boy.
That's getting a little long down there. That Charles in there at the running back. Now, let me ask you this. What was your record as a defensive coordinator against the Horns?
Now, I know you know what it is, so I'm going to let you say it, because I don't want to say it now.
9-1, I believe.
Well, I don't want to correct you, but it actually was 10-1.
Really? I didn't give you credit for the 10th one, huh?
I was wondering when you were going to get to that.
That's when the Aggies used to
You knew
dominate
that was
the
coming,
series,
Coach.
right?
I knew it was coming. I thought you'd get it on earlier.
I mean, that you want me to open the night with a record?
Exactly.
I don't know. 3rd down now, and Derek Lokey in for Selvin Young. There's the defensive tackle for the first time as the road grader, and they run off his block and get the first down. Folks, you have got to see number 96. He's a starting there. He's coming back off the field. He's a road grader in these short yardage situations. He was a high school fullback, and he just loves it. He said one day to Coach Brown, you got to just hand me the ball. And he says, you better pick up a fumble if you want the football.
Their version of his fridge. He didn't pick up a big block there, but Texas did pick up a first down. And now you start to wonder, can they get Selvin Young and Jamal Charles back involved in the offense and get him going here?
Yeah, I want to see if Colt McCoy can throw the ball down the field. It doesn't seem like he's thrown a ball more than 5 yards all night.
There's a young'un on the sideline who can throw it down the field. Jevin Sneed is his name. This time he goes down and complete. And he's saying, keep young Mr. Sneed over there on the sideline as he gets it to Selvin.
Well, that's what Bob Davie just called for, and that time they protected off of the play action. But what I like to see is the ball is thrown up in the air, and it's a great job of adjusting back to the football by Selvin Young. The ball is underthrown, but Selvin Young, as a running back, running a wheel route that right down the sideline, recognized the ball was underthrown, came back against Ohio State's top cover corner, Malcolm Jenkins, and made a nice play.
Charles in after the 29-yard gain. Remember, the Horns at one time in this game had a 1st and goal from the 7 and turned it over. Spinning, battling his way across the 35-yard line.
Well, the timing of the pass downfield was perfect to try to just mix it up and to slow down the pressure from Ohio State's defense. Ohio State has an aggressive defense. Their whole plan tonight was to try to get into the head of Colt McCoy, making his first start in this big a game. They wanted to try to confuse him, see if they could rattle him with a variety of looks. And anytime he can get a big completion like that to slow them down, that's going to help them run the football game.
Second down, keeping it on the ground. Across the 30-yard line, but short of the first down. Stopped by Laurinaitis, who's had a big game defensively for the Buckeyes. Number 33 forced the turnover inside the 5-yard line. If you've just joined us, Texas threatening. It was first and goal, then a pass interference call against Ohio State. Laurinaitis punched it out, and Donald Washington returned it down the sideline.
And if Vince Young was at quarterback, I would say quarterback draw right now, but that's not Vince Young.
Instead, it is Selvin Young who reaches out. And let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Brent, there's some folks here tonight who think that Colt McCoy is a hero no matter what he does here tonight. The McCoys were at their lakefront home in Graham, Texas on Memorial Day when they heard screams across the lake. And it was pitch black outside. Still, Colton's dad hopped into the water and swam 300 yards to the other side. That's where they found Patina Harrington and her husband, Ken, who was having a seizure. Now, another neighbor had already called 911, so Colt ran a quarter of a mile up the hill to let paramedics know where to go. The Harringtons are here tonight. Ken is doing just fine. Patina says that Colt McCoy saved her husband's life, and I asked him about it, and he said, I didn't do anything that anyone else wouldn't have done. Brent?
Yeah, real American hero story, isn't it, Lisa? Wonderful, wonderful story. Hands the ball off. And, so nice to see Ken over there and wearing the quarterback's number. And I believe he went to school right here at Texas. And yeah, he's the first to jump off Vince Young's bandwagon. He says Colt McCoy is his all-time favorite Texas quarterback, and understandably so. Nice to see you here tonight, sir. Second down and 11.
You look in that helmet at Colt McCoy. He looks like he's about 12 or 13 years old, doesn't he?
There's Pops over on the sideline. Hit on the release. Got it off in time, complete for a big-time throw under duress. Pulled in by Limas Swede.
Great concentration by the quarterback there, because Colt McCoy, I don't know if he realized that Curtis Terry was coming from his blind side, but he hurried just enough to get the ball off, and he threw it to a position where Limas Swede had a great body position on the corner, great throw, and a great job of just blocking out that pass rush coming towards him.
And no one liked that throw any more than the Harringtons. First down and 10. Coming back with the young running back, and jumped in the middle in there. Jamal Charles was hit by David Patterson, one of the fine defensive tackles. Those two defensive tackles, depending on how they do this year, Quinn Pittock and David Patterson, they'll play Sunday football. But the pros are looking to see if they, so they like to say, empty their bucket on every play, those two.
And not many people would have thought Ohio State, with 9 new starters on defense, would be pitching the shutout right now with 3 minutes left in his first half.
There's Laurinaitis. He's keyed it. Number 33. Selvin is back as running back off to the quarterback's right. Bounces. Out of bounds. Across the 10-yard line. And remember, the last time that the Horns marched into the red zone, Kirk, this happened.
Well, they had an opportunity early in this football game, and it was Billy Pittman making an effort, trying to extend the ball to try to pick up a first down, and James Laurinaitis jarred the ball loose with a big hit. Donald Washington picked it up and went the other way, kind of a turning point in this game. Let's see this time if Texas can capitalize now on third down, getting inside the 10-yard line.
3rd and 6 for the Horns.
And at some point, Limas Swede at 6'5", up here at the top of the screen, has to enter into the mix.
Hit again on the release. Incomplete. And McCoy had penalty flag thrown on this hit. It's back by the quarterback against Ohio State. Automatic first down.
Jay Richardson on a little stunt coming into the inside, slips through. I think it might have been helmet to helmet that time with Jay Richardson hitting Colt McCoy. Wow, definitely was not a late hit. It had to be helmet to helmet, if anything.
I don't see that. I didn't see any helmet to helmet. I didn't see him leading with the helmet or using the helmet as a weapon.
It definitely was not a late hit, roughing the quarterback.
And as you know, these are not reviewable, but let's take a close look at this again.
Well, that's
I don't see how you can call that.
That is a questionable call.
I mean, at some point he has full pads on, right? It is contact on the quarterback.
And you're a defensive coach, and you're right, but you made a good point. You have to lower your head and make contact with an opposing player's head to be able to have that called against you.
First and goal.
But the courage by this kid, amazing.
Charles is his running back. 25, short of the end zone.
Imagine being Colt McCoy. We talked about him growing up in this state, but think about the shoes that he's trying to fill. Vince Young, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, not only for Texas, maybe in college football, and this is his first big test with the #2 team, defending national champions, playing the #1 team in the country.
Greg Davis told us that when they came out of the spring, these two quarterbacks, Jevin Sneed and he, were dead even. When they came back in the fall, every coach knew it was McCoy's job. That's how familiar he was with the offense. Being a coach's son helped him tremendously understand the offense. Rolls pocket right, backside throws, got it, touchdown Texas. Colt McCoy hits Billy Pittman, and they're an extra point away from a tie. A 13-play drive. Redshirt freshman Colt McCoy. And remember the licks he took during this drive.
Boy, a 13-play drive here. Very, very important for Texas before we get to halftime to get some momentum created. And how about Billy Pittman? Made the fumble at the other end of the field, comes back and has a touchdown opportunity for the Longhorns.
And it goes back to one thing as Johnson ties it for the extra point. Let us not forget that personal foul penalty. Was it helmet to helmet? Is that why the referee called it and gave them a first down, and the Horns take advantage of it? And there's Colt's biggest fans, the Harrington family. What a great moment.
If there were a store in your town called Peace of Mind, would you pay it a visit? Across America, in towns big and small, there is such a place. New York Life. It starts with our values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity, and continues with our agents. So look for us in your town. You may already know our people, and we are confident that peace of mind is why New York Life is the company you keep.
We're back to see what happens when you don't use degree. Oder versus Bert meeting her parents for the first time. And here comes the Oder now. Oh, and the ref breaks it up.
He should have used degree, the Oder.
Its body-responsive formula prevents odor from existing all day.
Plane catches fire, you got three choices. Stay in it and burn with it all the way to the ground. You can jump from several thousand feet. Or you can take the quick and painless way out.
It's all right to be a little nervous before a fight.
Fights happening. They don't shoot at you.
Flyboys, rated PG-13. Only in theaters September 22nd.
It's a long and perilous journey from inspiration to reality. Best to bring along a guide.
I'm Matt Weiner back in New York. Here's our vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the day. Florida State struggling with Troy, but Geno Haynes with the big pick there. To vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance, just log on to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac.
Jimmy Haycock fine co-defensive coordinator working his troops over there on the sideline after they came off the field. As Colt McCoy and the Horns drive in to tie this just inside of 2 minutes. Ted Ginn back deep. They kick it away from him. Picked up by Gonzalez. And he is down short of the 35-yard line with 1:45 left on it. You know, we go back to that penalty and we think about it. It is an automatic penalty on helmet to helmet. Now, I want you two to watch this carefully and tell me if it's helmet to helmet. I say yes.
I think it's helmet to helmet by the technicality of the rule. But if I'm coaching right now, Jay Richardson, I don't know what else I tell him to do as a defensive coach.
How would you coach that? How would you coach him to do anything differently there?
I wouldn't.
Okay. We know where you stand.
First down and 10 for Troy Smith. Under pressure, bounces away beautifully. And steps out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
The bottom line is Texas had the opportunity after they caught the break, and they capitalized. Colt McCoy coming of age right in front of our eyes. 4 for 4 on that 13-play drive, giving Texas a very, very important touchdown here to get the crowd back into the game and to get his confidence up, feeling as if Texas can do some things on offense with him throwing the football.
Very much in charge. Troy Smith with the wristband. Quickly goes out of the backfield. Steps up against the pressure, fires to the middle and to the 40-yard line. And it's Brian Robisky, his second catch of the night. And Young, there's a penalty flag, so hang on now. So another big blow against the Buckeyes.
If I'm Gene Chizik and I'm trying to stop Jim Tressel.
Holding, 75 offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Alex Boone.
They're going to have to make some adjustments at halftime because it's become very obvious Ohio State trying to attack, not necessarily with Teddy Ginn against Aaron Ross. They're still taking their shots there, but it's not only Anthony Gonzalez, it's Brian Hartline, it's Brian Robisky. They're going to the second, third, and fourth receivers with matchups to their advantage against safeties and against the younger corners.
Here is the statistic of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. 5 penalties against the Buckeyes, none against the Longhorns. And you can look at that both ways now. Second down and 17. Ray Small, the freshman.
Bust right here.
Complete. Gonzalez to the 40. And that is about 4 yards short of the first down.
Ohio State with all 3 timeouts remaining. Little surprised they don't use a timeout right now and just settle down on a key 3rd and 4.
Texas is confused. That time a complete bust in their coverage to give them a shot here at 3rd down.
And Ginn gives him a first down, working against Ross.
Very, very dangerous to leave a corner, even as talented as Aaron Ross, by himself when the Ohio State offense is in hurry up, because if Teddy Ginn were able to slip just one tackle, he's going 50 yards for a touchdown.
Timeout has been called. So the Buckeyes use a timeout. So we look at this game and how it has unfolded, and a very low-scoring first half. We've got 28 seconds remaining, a touchdown apiece. The Horns were turned away, Kirk and Bob, early by that fumble when Laurinaitis punched it out. But what's your feeling here about what we've seen?
Well, I think what happens here for Ohio State is very, very important for both sides. I thought Texas gained some momentum by finally being able to sustain a drive and put it into the end zone to tie the game. It got the stadium alive. It got the crowd more involved. And I think it created some confidence here for Texas that they needed before they got to halftime. But they've got to stop Ohio State here.
Yeah, and I look at it, it's a 7-7 game, but there's been a lot more plays, a lot more entertaining than what you think a 7-7 football game would give you. But I'll tell you what, guys, we got a big-time game here tonight now.
Oh, really?
I like it. I like it.
His nickname is Scoop.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you stay this?
Well, you said,
where did I stay?
Yeah, where'd you stay, Kirk? Were you? Somebody said you were 4 seasons.
I stumbled in. I stumbled in there. There was a mistake with the travel department, and I stumbled over there.
I don't want that mistake. First down and 10 now. Oh, my rascals. All right, here's Troy Smith. Firing, got it open. Gonzalez grabs another one across the 30-yard line. Great grab by number 11. And the Buckeyes hurrying up. 22 seconds on that 23-yard gain.
Ohio State once again. Nice little decoy disguising by Anthony Gonzalez. Ohio State feels that Teddy Ginn gets all the attention, but their best, most complete receiver is Anthony Gonzalez. He found a nice seam in the zone.
But I've got to ask you, what coverage was that? I mean, Texas has had some gaping holes in that secondary.
I think they're confused. These last 3 or 4 plays, there's been a lot of confusion. You can see the communication with Texas in their defensive backfield where they're trying to get on the same page. And Ohio State mixing up formations, mixing up personnel. And I think that's, this time, confusing this defense. But Anthony Gonzalez has been all over the field, and he's been able to take advantage of the youth in the Texas secondary. Terrell Brown, of course, is out of this game, and it's been up to Brandon Foster and Ryan Palmer, and even the safeties here, they've not been able to stay up with number 11.
And I don't think there's any question Troy Smith's go-to receiver is number 11, Anthony Gonzalez. That is his safety net right there.
It was last year, Santonio Holmes. Teddy Ginn gets a lot of the attention because of his speed, and he's a great receiver. But it's a nice compliment to have Anthony Gonzalez on the other side.
So here we go now, 22 seconds. Buckeyes have 1 timeout remaining. Assistant coach Gene Chiswick's defense, good set. From the 29-yard line. Throwing deep, Ginn runs it in, touchdown, Ted Ginn. And he beat Ross.
Brent, when we came over to the walkthrough, Coach, myself, and you, and we had a chance with Lisa to talk to the Ohio State players. One of the things that Troy Smith told me was he has a lot more freedom at the line of scrimmage to make a check. And when he sees Teddy Ginn in this game one-on-one, he has the flexibility to turn it loose. And he made a check there at the line of scrimmage because he saw Teddy one-on-one against Aaron Ross and went right by him for the touchdown. Perfect throw by Troy Smith.
And Petrie nails the extra point.
The thing you're going to notice right here, Ohio State puts 3 receivers into the boundary. They leave Ted Ginn to the wide side of the field. It clearly defined the coverage for Troy Smith and just straight man-to-man bump and run. And the mistake right there that the corner Aaron Ross made, Kirk, he looked back to the ball with Teddy Ginn out ahead of him.
And that's a no-no. And the speed. We keep bragging about Anthony Gonzalez. We keep bragging about how good a player he is on the other side of Teddy Ginn. It's because Teddy Ginn is so explosive that it takes the attention away from Anthony Gonzalez. But we talk about his go-to guy. At the end of the day, it's the speed and the backyard ball between Troy Smith and Teddy Ginn.
You know, Kirk, I want to go back to something that Bob Davis said earlier, that Troy Smith is a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate, and he can really step up here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this stage builds that foundation even stronger, doesn't it? I was wondering when you're going to mention that H word because I see the same thing you do. You had him in the Fiesta Bowl against Brady Quinn.
And the winner of that game became the front runner coming into this year. Those are the top 2 candidates for the Heisman. But this stage,
hold on now, hold on.
Adrian Peterson, you're going to put
Adrian
with that
right
offense, without a passing game.
Well, you can't eliminate the great running back.
I love him. He might be the most talented player in college football. But I don't know if he's going to get enough yardage.
Whoa, now, come on now.
I don't think he's going to get enough yardage this year.
Where is Lee Corso when I need him? That's a long kickoff.
You talk about a swing of momentum. Texas looked like they had a chance to tie it, come up with a stop, get to halftime, 7-7. And Ohio State comes right back, puts 6 points on the board, and now they're going to hit the showers with the 7-point lead and the momentum.
First and 10, Texas on the 20.
You talk about Troy Smith. A lot of people ask, why do coaches give guys second chances? I think this is why. There's no question Jim Tressel has given him 2 or 3 opportunities. He had some off-field problems early in his career. This guy's already graduated from Ohio State. He's a great team leader. That's why you give guys second chances in your football program.
End of the first half. Ohio State with that late touchdown pass to Ted Ginn from his dear friend Troy Smith. Puts him up. And Ginn took it to the house. Let's go to Lisa.
Thanks, Frank. Coach, what went right on that last drive? They thought they were going into halftime tied up. What went right on that last drive for you?
You know, our kids practice a lot, those 2-minute drills, and Troy made a lot of plays. Pass protection was good, and, you know, we got single coverage for Teddy. And whenever we get single coverage for Teddy, we have a good chance.
Now, that penalty play that kept their touchdown drive alive, the official explained it to you. What did he tell you?
He said he's protecting the quarterback, which I understand.
Good luck the second half.
Troy Smith throws for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. And right now, let's go to John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie in New York. Take it away, John.
I wonder why Brent would give you the extra call. He called that Hail Mary pass as well. But I'll give you credit. You made the call on our pregame show today saying that Gonzalez would have a big game as well as Ginn.
In balanced coverages, the safety is going to be helping on Ted Ginn's side. Gonzalez is the guy that's going to be one-on-one most of the day. But like we saw at the end, Ginn, one-on-one coverage, big play guy. It was interesting to see in the course of the game how Ohio State started getting blitzed. Their Texas defense is blitzing, and then got him out of sync, got Troy Smith out of sync, and he adjusted as it went on. They got him in 2-minute drill and made plays against the blitz.
Speaking of adjusting, the whole pregame, all week leading up to this game, we've asked the question, Colt McCoy, will he be able to handle this? Well, Colt McCoy, I think, has answered everybody's questions about that. He's a smooth, poised young man. He has a lot of confidence going to halftime. So I really believe coming out in the second half, Texas's defense has to match what Colt McCoy's done with his offensive unit. We've seen Ohio State's defense, and they played better than everybody thought they could.
All right, stick around. When we return, we'll come back with some highlights you will not want to miss. Florida State and Troy, a struggle.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Checking out this morning's traffic. It's gridlocked all the way into downtown. All 4 lanes are...
A new level of strength, a new level of quality. Introducing the GM 100,000-mile warranty, a new level of confidence.
You're gonna get what you need. You're gonna get what you need.
With courtesy transportation and roadside assistance, it's the best coverage in America from the biggest brand in America.
Welcome back to the much-anticipated matchup between the Eagles and the Bulldogs. The Eagles to receive. Let's go down to the field and get a real quick report from Meg Shipley. Meg?
The Eagles are hoping their potent offense can penetrate the Bulldogs' number 3 ranked defense. Now, I believe we're seeing some parachutes coming down. Mike, are you seeing this from up there?
Absolutely, Meg, and I have no explanation for what's going on right now, but cows are parachuting onto the field. I'm not sure if this is some kind of a protest stunt or something. 2 cows have landed on the field now. Now there's a 3rd cow headed for the stands. It's actually headed right towards a burger. Look out! Oh, my. The burger vendor is down. That's going on the highlight reel.
Try our new hand-spun milkshakes in vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cookies and cream.
What if you could get rid of the things you don't like about credit cards? The hype, the confusion. What if you could start over? And this time, do it right.
This is ESPN on ABC. John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie for you here. We're at halftime, and Ted Ginn Jr. has been the difference maker in this one. 14-7, Ohio State has the lead in that contest. Now, you had to wonder about Florida State Miami today. They played on Monday night, of course. Florida State wins a very, very tough defensive-minded battle. They have to come back now just 5 days later and face Troy. So they're thinking, we can roll out of bed and win this game. It was the Trojan horse that did more damage here. Hogabook here, deflected and caught by Gary Banks. It was a 10-10 game. Weatherford goes 16 yards to Chris Davis to tie this game at 17.
With 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they finally tie the game up, and then the big fullback's able to carry it in for the touchdown. And to address your question, John, here's a Miami offense that on Monday night went against the Florida State defense. It was unbelievable, and they had 134 yards. Today in this ball game, Troy comes out, and their offense has 284 yards against Florida State's defense. I thought Florida State's defense was unbelievable, but Doug, as players, you and I both know, parity's close in college football, and, man, it's hard to get that tank filled up again that short of time.
It's an emotional win for you. You're patting yourself on the back for a couple of days, saying, oh, we beat Miami, and all of a sudden you say, oh, shoot, it's game day.
That's right.
And if Troy doesn't throw 2 interceptions in the last 5 minutes of the game, Florida State doesn't win.
Unbelievable. It would have been one of the biggest upsets in college football history. All right, Penn State facing Notre Dame today. We're not sure about the Irish because of last week against Georgia Tech. They were in a struggle. Well, we're sure of them now. Brady Quinn had 3 touchdown passes. This one of them as he stands deep in the pocket and tosses it across the middle. Their defense did a great job as well in the contest. You can soon see the sack here. And then Zibikowski picks it up and goes 25 yards.
And Anthony Morelli, they're making a mistake. But it really was. It came down to Brady Quinn, again, on offense, making a lot of plays when Penn State didn't.
Georgia and South Carolina. Steve Spurrier had no problems against Georgia when he coached at Florida. Danny Ware, though, takes it in from 10 yards out. And then Mike Davis gets tackled in the end zone for a safety. And
big guy couldn't handle that. He couldn't handle that defensive lineman, could he?
50-0. Georgia has the lead. Now this one is a blowout. LSU facing Arizona. The defense getting it done as well. Jonathan Zenit steps in, returns this one 41 yards for the touchdown. But Jamarcus Russell, 5 yards to Jacob Hester.
Russell looked great all day today throwing the ball, and LSU was romping. But Arizona was as bad as LSU was good. They couldn't get a snap from center, throwing interceptions, missing field goals, everything.
All right, what did we find out about Notre Dame today? Are they that good, or is Penn State not as good as we thought they might be?
We probably found out that Georgia Tech's pretty darn good
right,
and did a good job against Notre Dame's offense. And we also probably found out that Penn State may not be what we thought they were. Anthony Morelli and that offense at Penn State had some chances in the game early on when Notre Dame wasn't scoring to have some points on the board. They didn't do it. We sat here and we said, hey, Notre Dame's going to come back and pound them in the second half, and they did.
That's what happened. Second half, the intensity level picked up for Notre Dame. They became more physical. We didn't think they were real physical in the first half, Notre Dame. Second half, they got physical as well as making the plays, and Penn State looked pretty much flat the whole day.
All right, continuing with Florida facing Central Florida. And this one, Urban Meyer. Hey, am I going to have a little cakewalk in this? I'm right, number 7, Chris Leak. 10 yards to Dallas Baker. At this point, it's a 27-0 lead.
And, you know, I watched Game Day, and Lee Corso said this was going to be a closer than the experts think. I don't know.
Leak here, 25 yards to Andre Caldwell. 34-0 is the score there. Now, Air Force and Tennessee. You expect a blowout? Tennessee had a big win last week against Cal. Well, Eric Ainge looked pretty good today.
Real solid all day long, throwing the ball. Even though the game is still close in the fourth quarter, Ainge was throwing the ball with precision all day long. He's looking like a big-time quarterback.
That one is not over. Minnesota against Cal. Cal is the team that Tennessee beat up on last week. Nate Longshore to Deshaun Jackson. 48 yards this one covers as Cal leads Minnesota 21-14.
Nate's redeeming himself for last week. I'll tell you what, he looked real sharp today, over 200 yards passing in the first half. Last week, big struggle.
Miami also had to play on Monday night. They get Florida A&M this time around. Charlie Jones, 5 yards on this run, 14-0. Kyle Wright also had a good day.
And you know what, Wright just following up really what he had last week. Can you imagine, though, Miami going out and having fresh legs against FAMU?
No, I mean, this is not too much. But I'll tell you what, this is the last year of the agreement between Miami and Florida State to play that Monday night game. I'm not betting on them renewing that deal. Certainly not Bobby Bowden. Stick around. When we come back, we will have more of the day's scores, highlights, big hits, touchdowns, and more, plus a preview of Monday Night Football.
Now, time to go back to our ESPNU City College Vault. Last season, Texas traveled to Ohio State for their first ever meeting with the Buckeyes. After their defense kept it close in the second half, Vince Young connected with Limas Swede with just over 2 minutes remaining to take the lead. The Longhorn defense preserved the victory when Brian Robeson recovered a Justin Zwick fumble late in the game.
Oh, I stole his password online and hello. Makeover. I got hair extensions, plumped up the lips, and snapped the hottest headshots. Hollywood, here I come. Tell me what you think. Unbreak my heart, say you love me again. Undo this hurt that you caused when you walked out the door and you walked out of my life.
Citi Identity Theft Solutions. Talk to a real person to help get your life back. Free when you get a Citi credit card or Citibank account.
We serve a place as big as it is diverse. Maybe that's why we're so single-minded in our purpose, to help transform individuals into the thinkers, dreamers, and leaders of tomorrow. We're Texas. What starts here changes the world.
The game face. Everyone is different. Some are powerful. Some are focused, and some are calm in any situation. Big 12 athletes never lose their game faces. They travel with them throughout their lives. You see them on doctors performing surgery, lawyers presenting arguments, and on scientists making discoveries. The game face is how champions prepare for a challenge, no matter the arena.
This is ESPN on ABC. John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie. Time now for the No Huddle highlights. We begin with a team that dropped in the polls despite the fact that they won last week. Steve Slayton was himself again.
Well, the question today was whether or not he'd get 300 yards rushing. This young man and this football team just getting ready for the long run.
Syracuse against Iowa. This one was not supposed to be a game. It was. Pass interference is going to be called down here. They ruled ball at the 24.
When pass interference is a highlight, this is an ugly game, all right? Big field goal by Syracuse to tie it in the last seconds to send it to OT.
That was Patrick Shadle in overtime. Now Syracuse gets another call down at the line. They still can't get it in after 8 tries.
8 tries against that Iowa defense, and they held up.
Clemson against Boston College, another game that went to overtime. This point after was blocked, and it was key because Boston College would come back. Whitworth on the 6-yard touchdown run is tied at 33. Now the kicker just has to hit it.
Oh, just put it through.
Hail Mary Flutie.
Oh, that's a big, big win against a ranked opponent at home for Boston College.
Nebraska facing Nicholls State. Zach Taylor got it going today. 42 yards here to Purify.
Now, I understand that, y'all laugh at me. It's the nickel and dime state that they were playing today. But the bottom line is Zach Taylor's getting better. He's completing passes. Now the question is, can that black shirt defense, can they match what Taylor's doing on offense? Because we have not seen a Nebraska defense really dominate anybody in quite a while.
And they have USC next week in primetime right here on ABC.
USC this week. Steve Smith, Patrick Turner, a couple receivers for USC this week, making comments about John David Booty, a quarterback, about how good he is. He takes more chances than Matt Leinart. He's got a stronger arm than Matt Leinart. They believe this guy's a leader. We talk about a team that reloads.
Saying all the right things about their quarterback, and he did impress me at Arkansas, the way he handled himself. But again, John David Booty on his backside is what the black shirts have to hope for at Nebraska, or they're not going to stay in this ball game.
All right, now this weekend, ESPN's coverage of the 2006 National Football League season starts. With a preview, here's Chris Berman.
We're getting ready to kick off a brand new season of Sunday NFL Countdown. Can Bill Parcells and Terrell Owens make it work in Big D? Michael Irvin weighs in, and so will a special guest who knows something about relationships.
If these two want to have a healthy relationship, 2 things are going to happen. Win
and win.
Carson Palmer is back. Will it be better than ever? Tom Jackson visits with the Bengals quarterback. Colts versus Giants. Manning versus Manning. Who'll win this historic battle? Mike Ditka won't hesitate to pick sides. Join us at 11 a.m. Eastern for Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN. Now, let's check in with Mike Tirico and the Monday Night Football crew. Mike?
Chris, thank you. Here in Washington, a lot of excitement. Redskins making the playoffs last year, but Tony, it truly has been a bummer of a summer.
Horrendous. They're 0-4 in preseason games. Their first-string offense gets a grand total of 0 points. The good news for them on Monday night, Joe Gibbs told us today that Clinton Portis, who got hurt in the first preseason game, he will play.
Vikings looked a little bit better the preseason, but of course Brad Childress, their new head coach, is one of 10 new ones in the National Football League. He inherits a team that almost made it to the playoffs. And oh, by the way, oldest starting quarterback in the National Football League goes to Brad Johnson.
That's game one of our doubleheader. Game two will be in Oakland as LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers take on Randy Moss and the Raiders. Monday Night Football season premiere doubleheader, Monday at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Mike, thanks a lot. This is ESPN on ABC.
Introducing the rebirth of cool. Gatorade Rain. Start crisp, finish clean. Stay cool in the heat. Gatorade Rain.
This is not what smart travelers do. But this is, go to Thrifty.com. Compare our cars, compare our rates. You'll always find our absolute lowest rates at Thrifty.com. We guarantee it. Thrifty.com. Book smart.
Joey Lawrence, Mario Lopez. It's the battle of the Hollywood heartthrobs, and there's only one word to describe it. Whoa. Dancing with the Stars, live 2-hour premiere. Tuesday, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Sunday, September 24th. It's finally time for the season premiere. Will you marry me?
I know it's been 6 months, but he could still come out of it, right?
It's time
Does she know you killed your wife?
to come clean.
I don't do that. I'm a Republican.
The season premiere of Desperate Housewives. Sunday, September 24th at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Air Force at Tennessee coming down, looking like they're going to tie the game. Ryan Williams goes in 31-30, but 2-point conversion with 1:35 left. Chad Hall is stopped, and that's where it remains now, 31-30. Time now to go back to Austin and rejoin Chris Fowler and Lee Corso.
All right, John, thank you. Wild Saturday here. Lee, we look forward to a good last 30 minutes. What a difference from a year ago. Ted Ginn held to just 2 catches by Texas a year ago. He's got 4 for 85, and Gonzalez 7 catches.
Well, first of all, if you're Texas, you got to get this Colt McCoy to run the no-huddle offense, run the option play, roll out every once in a while. Now, if you're Ohio State, just do this. Do yourself a favor. Get number 10 the ball every time. Troy Smith has had 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaged 17 yards per completion in the first half. The guy's having a Heisman night right here, 1 versus 2. Troy Smith is the difference between these two teams.
And in the Longhorn secondary, I agree with our buddy Kirk. There's some confusion back there. Remember, Marcus Griffin, the starting safety, knocked out an injury. So already with Brown out, Griffin injured, some things to sort out in the back end for the Longhorns in the second half. And the second half will be coming right up from Austin, Texas, after these messages and word from your ABC stations.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Your flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly, offering snacks for sale for $5. Also available, in-flight magazines for $3. If you'd like to rent a pillow or blanket, that'll be $2. You need to use the restroom, that fee's $4. If you need anything else, feel free to push that call button for a minimum fee of $1.
How far are they gonna go?
For 35 years, Southwest Airlines has offered low fares with no strings attached.
You are now free to move about the country.
I'm worried about how I'm going to send my kids to college.
Tuition is going through the roof.
There's a plan on the ballot this November that provides hope.
The Ohio Learn and Earn College Scholarship.
By dedicating part of the revenue from limited and state-regulated slot machines,
We can give every child the opportunity
to earn college tuition.
Almost $1 billion a year without raising taxes.
And unlike the lottery,
funds are 100% dedicated by law.
Ohio Learn and Earn. A lot of good will come of this.
There's no drive like a BMW, and no coverage like BMW Ultimate Service, with more no-cost maintenance than any vehicle in its class. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
I want you to hear the facts directly from me. I voted for 2 of the largest tax cuts in history, helping millions of Ohioans. Another fact, during 14 years in Washington, Congressman Brown voted repeatedly for higher taxes, including the largest tax increase in history, which even raised taxes on Social Security. I'm Mike DeWine. I approve this message, and I'll keep fighting for lower taxes for you and your family.
Big name guests, big name stories, big name moments from Greater Cincinnati's big name sports team. Popo and Beachmont Ford Sports of All Sorts. Sundays at 11:35, right here on WCPO TV Channel 9.
Traffic now, your early morning wake-up call with exclusive maps that are easy to read, helping you make your morning commute faster.
Last-minute preps for the season opener. We're in Kansas City with the Bengals after the game.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, and number 1, Ohio State, striking with less than 30 seconds to go in the first half, leads number 2, Texas by a touchdown. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger with Kirk Herbstreit, Bob Davie, and Kirk, that last touchdown pass, there were some interesting things.
Well, what I'm seeing right now are 2 even football teams competing. The only difference is Troy Smith. Troy Smith is 13-19 in the first half for 219 yards. Biggest play right before the half. Recognized one-on-one coverage with Teddy Ginn, and he makes the audible at the line of scrimmage with his hand. The gesture with the hand indicates to Teddy Ginn that it's one-on-one. And what I liked is how he looked to safety Griffin off and then made the throw to the outside right where Teddy Ginn can make the catch.
And how about the maturation of Teddy Ginn as a receiver? Watch this escape move right there as he beats the bump and run coverage by Aaron Ross.
Last week, Troy Smith threw for 297 yards and 3 touchdowns. The first half tonight, 219 yards and 2 more touchdowns. Texas will get the ball to start against Smith and the Buckeyes. Selvin Young and Quan Cosby are back deep. Fielded on the bounce by Selvin. Down at the 20-yard line. Our Pack Life first half statistics look like this. And Bob, as you look at this, what jumps out
off that page to you.
What jumps out at me is the problems Texas has in the secondary trying to defend the pass of Ohio State.
What doesn't show up in the stats is the poise of Troy Smith. We saw in this matchup a year ago Vince Young take his team into Columbus and play with such great poise. And now, a year later, we're seeing in the first half very similar attitude from the Ohio State quarterback.
From behind Colt McCoy, he is quarterback the entire game. Number 12, his second start. Hands it off to the running back, Charles. And let's check in with Lisa. What did Coach Mack Brown have to say?
Well, Brent, Mack Brown told me that he told his kids at halftime to keep your confidence. He said, look, guys, we came from behind last year at the Horseshoe. We came from behind at the Rose Bowl. You just got to stay in this and try to tie the game up in the first 5 minutes of the second half. I also asked him when he told us yesterday that he would not challenge anything until the fourth quarter, why he challenged that fumble in the first quarter. And he said, one of my kids said it was a bad call. It didn't come up on the replay. I wanted to keep my challenge, but it was such a critical time of the game that I thought I had to use it. It was a mistake.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Handoff on the play, and again, first down. Strong run by Charles to the 31-yard line.
You know, as I watch this football game, we really haven't seen Jamal Charles, number 25, explode yet. But keep in mind, he is a 10-100 meters. I'm going to make a strong statement. I think the two fastest football players in the country on the field tonight with Ted Ginn and Jamal Charles.
If they're not too tired, can we maybe talk them into 100 yards after the ball game tonight? That would be, this whole stadium would stay and watch that.
First and 10. Picked off. Laurinaitis, who's had a monster night for the Buckeyes, with the interception, and they're within striking distance again.
First, you're going to get a chance to see what Colt McCoy sees right here from behind the quarterback. But how about James Laurinaitis? A game like this of this magnitude, Kirk, with this stage, this kind of games change young guys' lives. This guy tonight is the big hit on the goal line early in the game caused fumble, and now the big interception.
And the thing, guys, it's the first mistake we've seen from the Texas quarterback, the young quarterback making his first start in the big game, and Laurinaitis has been all over the field. Colt McCoy didn't even see number 33.
Now first and 10. Handoff to Pittman. Powers into the middle of that burnt orange defense, and Derek Lokey, the nose man from Denton, Texas, and there he is talking to Greg Davis upstairs, running down the mistake that was made on the field.
And I think this is key right now. How does Colt McCoy bounce back? Last week in his first college game against North Texas, it was easy. We look at Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator. How resilient is Colt McCoy?
We've talked about that all day. The adversity finally hitting him. How does he respond? That's exactly right. And with all the pressure of Texas trying to come back on his shoulders.
Second and 8. Backside, down goes Smith, but strong enough to hold on to the football. Hit from behind by Robinson.
And Brian Robinson, who himself dropped 15 pounds as the defensive end. You're going to see him coming from the backside. He beat Alex Boone, the 325-pound offensive tackle. But Kirk, it's speed over size.
Speed and effort. What an amazing job by Robinson to come from the backside, to come down and not give up on the play to bring down Troy Smith.
3rd and 15. They're going to run for it with Pittman. Angling and short of the first down as Michael Griffin, one of the twins, alongside Marcus as the safety. When they played in high school, Michael, whom you're looking at, he was the quarterback.
And how about the call on 3rd and long? Jim Tressel comes with the little counter play. Pittman breaks it outside. There's no one out there for the offensive guard, Downing, to block. Sets up a makeable field goal right now for the Buckeyes.
Aaron Petrie missed one on their first drive from 28 yards. This is 31. Different angle. Got this one. One of two And that one from the left hash. Jim Tressel to the Buckeyes. Add 3. Go up by 10 now. 17-7. Take advantage of the interception.
The 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper add up to so much taste. 23 is always on the tip of your tongue.
At the end of the 23rd quarter, it's all tied up 23-23.
We'll be back after a brief 23-second timeout.
Thanks, guys. Dr. Pepper and ESPN are giving you a chance to throw for $1 million. Go to ESPN.com, keyword Pepper to enter. Because with 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper, there's always more to it.
On September 12th, the sequel to the award-winning LEGO Star Wars video game is finally here. It's all the action of Star Wars combined with the fun of LEGO. LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy video game. In stores September 12th. Rated everyone 10 and up.
Thank you. I love that turtle.
Who's counting on your brakes today? Your brakes are too important to trust to just anyone. That's why you should come to Midas now. At Midas, brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
4 teams, 2 coasts, 1 memorable Monday night. Joe Gibbs and Washington begin their championship run against former Redskin Brad Johnson and the Vikings. Then Charger starlet Damian Tomlinson visits Randy Moss and the Raiders. Vikings, Redskins, Chargers, Raiders. Starting at 7 Eastern, a doubleheader season premiere of ESPN's Monday Night Football.
And this ESPN production's available on ABC HD, presented by Dish Network. Ohio State 17, Texas 7. The linebacker who went to Wayzata High School, just outside Minneapolis, James Laurinaitis, with a huge night. His daddy, a professional wrestler, very popular back in the 80s and 90s, known as the Animal of the Legion of Doom. And tonight his son is a Legion of Doom. And man, I tell you, Lisa, you found a guy who he can step pretty good down there now. Emmitt Smith now, he's pretty nimble.
That's right, Brent, the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Emmitt, you've been cutting a rug all summer. I'll get to that. But a couple of minutes ago, you said we're watching the national champion. I got to ask you, which one do you think it is? You said you think we're watching the potential national champion. Which one?
I think so. I mean, Ohio State definitely have the better ball club when you talk about the quarterback position and some of the other skill position. I mean, they kind of neutralize themselves, but the quarterback position is such a key role in this ball game, and I think Ohio State have the edge in that category.
Now, I'm going to ask you about your dancing after this play.
Yeah, we want to hear about that. So we'll come back down, and right now the heat is on young Colt McCoy, and they give him a very comfortable pass, and let's go back to Lisa.
All right, Emmitt, we always knew that you were good on your feet, but you're a competitor in Dancing with the Stars this season. You've been training for 5 weeks. How's it been?
It's been fun. It's been challenging. As you can see right here, you look at the video right now. I mean, I have to work hard to get good at it, and so it's been fun though. I've had a lot of encouragement by Cheryl, my partner. She's been a great instructor, and so I've just been trying to take it in and soak up as much knowledge as I possibly can.
What advice did Jerry Rice give you?
He told me it was going to be hard. He said, be prepared to practice a minimum of 3 to 6 hours a day, and that I have been prepared to do. And so I've been having a good time doing it, loving it, and it is hard at times. I'm learning the cha-cha, I'm learning the quick step. So far, the quick step has been the hardest to learn.
Can you show us something, Emmitt? You got anything for me?
No.
So can you show me a step, anything?
You know, I'm reserving all my steps for Tuesday night when I need America to call in and vote for me and Cheryl. So
now, you never danced when you scored a touchdown, so where'd you get this ability from?
I've always had it. It's just that in my sport, it wasn't necessary. This is a dancing event, so it's every bit of necessary and it's every bit of required. So
thank you very much, Emmett. Good luck, Brent.
Oh, I thought maybe Emmett wanted to go on for another minute with that promo. Lateral off to the left. I thought maybe, I hate to interrupt you, Emmett, but there's a football game breaking out. Selvin, he picked up 17 yards on that, and so let me just remind you that Emmett will be dancing with the stars, and that's live Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.
Big shoes to fill there. Jerry Rice performance.
Second down at 11. Whatever you say. There's that inside shuffle pass off to Charles. He's short of the first down. Larry Grant, the JUCO All-American linebacker, number 6, says. Jim Trussell continues to use a lot of manpower down here in Austin. And Mac jokingly said to me, there's one thing wrong with this game. We're not playing it at high noon out here in the heat and humidity. He said we got to play this game at night. Third down and 4 yards for the Horns, who trail it by 10.
And that stat right there really helps the young quarterback. Texas' ability to run the football, but I think they're going to have to throw the football right here, Kirk, on 3rd and 4.
Flared, picked up, nothing doing. And a nice read. Donald Washington was over there, and Antonio Smith. Antonio Smith actually read the play and went out with the running back.
And the young quarterback hung his tailback. Selvin Young out a little bit right here. And you see Washington right there break on the football. Fortunately, Kirk, that ball wasn't jarred out of there.
Antonio Smith has had a big night tonight for the Ohio State defense. He showed blitz, recognized that he thought the throw would go out to the flat, to the back, and got back over there to help Donald Washington out.
Antonio Smith, a great story. Excuse me.
First team charge timeout.
So our first timeout in the second half. And again, that's something that Mac Brown didn't want. He did not want a timeout used because the change in the timing rules, he wanted to take all 3 to the 4th quarter. So right now, for the defending national champions and the favorites in this game, things are really not going their way.
When Susie and I retire, we'll be taking trips like this whenever we want. It's a good thing we've been planning.
At Pacific Life, giving you the right tools to help you meet your financial goals is what we're all about. As you look to the future, look to Pacific Life. Ask your financial professional about Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed.
We might have to decide who lives and dies out there. Expect the unexpected.
I'm a rescue swimmer at heart.
Wow, I bet you practiced that all morning. No matter what happens out there, you stay together.
The Guardian, rated PG-13, in theaters September 29th.
Pickup and SUV. Gasoline and E85 ethanol. Haul and tow. The all-new 2007 Chevy Avalanche, the most flexible vehicle out there.
Clear your inbox, clear your mind. The same email that's on your computer is now on your singular phone with one simple click. It's your email delivered. Get the new email-ready Nokia phone for only $29.99. Singular, raising the bar.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. The low fare from here to there. It's on Southwest Airlines at southwest.com. Chevrolet, America's brand. Chevy, an American revolution. Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed. And Nike Gridiron.
The Ohio State Buckeyes lost in the fourth quarter a year ago in Columbus. But right now here in Austin, Texas, they lead 17-7. After the timeout, Johnson and again going to let this. I'll tell you, we've seen some outstanding punting on both sides here tonight. Two very, very powerful legs. Let's go to New York now and John Saunders. John.
Well, Brent, it's time now for the prime time pulse. You can see Georgia right now over South Carolina. They pushed that lead to 18-0. Fresno State over Oregon 3-0, but it's early in that contest. That's your prime time pulse. All right, back to you.
All right, John, and here at 17-7, the Buckeyes. Now, Fresno State hosting Oregon. There aren't many fellas that are willing to go in and play them in their home territory. That will be one to keep an eye on as it unfolds here throughout the night. Pittman into the middle, and Bobineau, who's been very solid at linebacker, makes the stop.
Troy Smith is starting to gain a reputation for performing well in the big games. You can see tonight he's off to a great start. You go back to think about the way he played against Michigan twice, playing against Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Coming into this game, he's played his best in the big games, completing 69% of his passes with 5 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs with 377 yards of total offense in those big games. He continues that trend tonight in a big one, obviously, here in Austin.
2nd and 8. Pittman for the first down. A powerful running play. Now, Troy Smith, let's go back to a year ago because Justin Zwick drew the start in Columbus. And there are many, many fans around the Midwest who believe that if number 10 had been the starting quarterback that night and had played every snap, that they would have won the game. Now, Smith himself points out, not so fast, my friends, because it was Zwick who threw the pass that the tight end dropped. And wasn't that a painful drop in the end zone? That might have been game, set, and match. Buckeyes win it. But Troy Smith has matured as an individual, off the field as well as on. He was at the Elite 11 quarterback camp in California, and he made a tremendous impression on the youngsters out there. He stood in front of them and said, look, I made a mistake, and I paid for it. I took money when I shouldn't have. I want you fellas to listen now to somebody who went the wrong way, and don't you make that same mistake. It was a powerful, powerful speech, and I cannot tell you how impressive Troy Smith has become off the field around Columbus. When you go talk to him and you look back to the days, and you give Jim Tressel and this coaching staff so much credit for the maturation of Troy Smith, and now Bob Davie would probably put him at the top of his Heisman ballot.
I think everybody in the world would right now.
I got Brent casting my vote for me right here.
He'll do that now.
We got a little flag turned down there now.
False start, 75 offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
I think Troy Smith has been the difference in the game because of the way he's been able to spread it around. Anthony Gonzalez early. Teddy Ginn had the big play before the half. And you look at the results. But I think it's the leadership. Something you can't always see are the intangibles of a quarterback on the road. Number 1 against number 2 because he has a calming effect on the rest of the team. Not just the offense, but the entire team.
2nd and 15. And this is well short of the first down. That's Brian Robisky, his 3rd catch of the night.
I'll tell you something I've really been impressed with is just the overall team speed of how Ohio State has matched up against Texas. We knew Ohio State had some individual guys that could run, Kirk, but just as a team, I thought Texas would have the speed advantage. I have not seen that tonight.
Well, especially on defense. You knew with so many players returning on offense, Ohio State was pretty gifted on that side of the ball. But the way their young defense has flown around tonight has been very impressive.
3rd and 9. Incomplete. Buckeyes will punt.
The young receiver, number 80, Ryan Robisky, whose dad is a coach at the Cleveland Browns. Wow. You have to make that catch on 3rd and 9. That would have been a huge conversion. But this guy's a young, talented receiver.
They really like Robisky, the future that he has. But as a young player, what big play there on 3rd and long.
And at some point, Texas, who has led the country in block kicks over the last 5 years, don't take for granted punt protection right now, how important it is.
The passer has been solid. I mean, he can really hang a punt. Ross is back inside the 15-yard line. That one came out of the clouds. So it is Saturday Night Football on ABC. Tonight, Austin, Texas. Next Saturday, Los Angeles.
Can anyone tell me what happened to Napoleon when he tried to invade Russia? Brian?
Hey, Ryan.
Somebody's going to get their first loss here tonight. It's not going to be us, is it? No,
sir! We could take him.
It's all you, Ryan.
We're down. Last chance of the Hawks.
Blue 80. Eye the ball, Ryan. Greetings and go. Come on, Ryan.
They're lazy and a little slow.
Are you staring at my breasts?
I don't know. But when an underachiever,
Zach's one of our box boys.
I'm Amy.
Hey, decides to step up,
She has a thing for the employee of the month.
I'll win employee of the month.
he can't do it alone.
It's a go.
Clean up on aisle 13.
From the producers of Wedding Crashers, Employee of the Month.
This is an 81 Honda. How dare you?
Rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere October 6th.
Vivica A. Fox. She's a big screen diva, but to make it on the dance floor, it's going to take more than a little kung fu. Dancing with the Stars, live 2-hour premiere, Tuesday, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
John Saunders in New York with our SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Congratulations to the Detroit Shock. They win their second WNBA championship in 4 years, beating Sacramento. And our good friend Swing Cash gets a title. And Maria Sharapova wins the U.S. Open and claims her second major title. Brent, back to you.
Pretty one, John. That's nice. She won that. Won a Wimbledon title a few years ago. Good for her. 4-5, 17-7. Bob Davey, Kirk Herbstreit, Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along now. 1 versus 2, and number 2 with the lead here. I should say number 1 with the lead, 17-7. Texas was number 1 after they won it all. Roseburg. Charles, the running back, staying alive. Powerful run. And for those of you who may have just joined us, there were 2 very key defensive plays turned in by Laurinaitis, Coach David.
And Brent, this first one, as Texas is pounding on the goal line, was just a great effort play. This is the first play of the second half on offense for Texas. James Laurinaitis steps in front and gets the interception. 2 huge plays now.
And with the loss of Bobby Carpenter, Anthony Schlegel, and of course A.J. Hawk, they needed somebody to see who would emerge as a leader in a big game, and so far it's been Laurinaitis.
On 2nd and 1, youngster again for the Texas first down. They moved the chains, and the one thing that Texas has not been able to do tonight, finish what they started. Only their one long scoring drive behind Colt McCoy. Otherwise, they have struggled.
And you think back a year ago of just putting the ball in Vince Young's hands when it's a 17-7 game and you're down.
Kind of uncharted waters right now for this offense.
First down and 10 for McCoy. Runs over to the right to buy time. Incomplete, and they lose it down. Had a shot at it downfield that time, and that was Jermichael Finley, the talented future tight end here. And let me go back now to the Vince Young story, because after the Rose Bowl, let's remember that Vince said, I was coming back to school. I'm going to do it again. And the coaching staff said, yeah, we might have Vince for one more year. And then there was a phone call, Mac Brown told us, and Vince said, Coach, I'd like to come over and see you. And Mac said, sure, come on over, Vince. And Mac said, I looked out the front door and I saw the white limo pull up and the door open, and I knew he was gone.
That was it. You think Mac's heart sunk a little bit when he saw that limo pull up?
Yeah, limo, that's true.
Second and 10. Selvin Young and Laurinaitis back over to make the stop, number 33. Of course, at the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game, and isn't Laurinaitis a candidate for the Buckeyes? And to honor their determination, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each University General Scholarship Fund. Laurinaitis and Troy Smith are having a pretty good internal battle for the Buckeye Award here tonight.
Brent, Bob, and I were talking at the break. Where is Limas Swede gone? They have not tried to get their most talented wide receiver the football. Maybe here on third down, they try to look for him isolated against an Ohio State corner.
Three down for the Bucks. 3rd and 5. Wide open penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown by the linesman. Coming back. Things have not gone right for the defending national champions here tonight.
And what makes it really difficult, it's going to put him in about a 3rd and 15 situation.
Holding, 79 offense, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, still 3rd down.
Big Tony Hills, the only new starter on the offensive line for Texas, was a tight end. Right there, he grabs the jersey of number 1, Marcus Freeman.
Tony Hill's making one of his few starts that he's had an opportunity, but he did play quite a bit last year, filling in for Jonathan Scott in this game against Ohio State.
And that's the first flag thrown against the Longhorns. 6 penalties against the Buckeyes for 40 yards tonight. 3rd and 15. Drops off the screen. Charles cuts off a blocker, but well short of the first down.
It's exactly what Greg Davis wanted to avoid, getting off schedule with the down and distance with a young quarterback. You want to avoid 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 13. Really gives you no opportunity to have a long drive, Coach.
Penalties, and I think it's key right now for Texas. Mac Brown, get that offense together over there. Get Colt McCoy around his teammates, because right now you sense the lack of confidence in that Texas offense.
Goes back to the interception to start the half.
4th down and 4, and Gonzalez will join up with Ginn. Johnson trying to kick it away from him, and this is by far his worst punt of the night, but it takes a huge Texas bounce, and Ginn's got it on a big hop. And down short of the 20-yard line. Well, a reminder that the season premiere of Grey's Anatomy coming up Thursday, September 21st, 9/8 Central. Make a move with TV's hottest doctors to a new season and a new night. Grey's Anatomy.
Now your host on the return.
Part of our sellout crowd. There's upwards of 20-some thousand fans who came down here from the state of Ohio. Some of them are over at the Irwin Center. They bought out the basketball arena over there, and I'm sure they're excited watching this game on the big screen over there. There have been some huge cheers, and Troy Smith has led the Buckeyes to the lead, and now Maurice Wells. We'll get a series of downs here. Number 34, Michael Griffin, one of the Griffin twins, makes a stop.
Kirk, see, Ohio State brought their band down here. One benefactor gave $225,000 to pay for the band's expenses. That was really nice of you to do.
Oh, me.
That band really appreciates.
I'll tell you what, in Columbus, there's Woody Hayes, there's Archie Griffin, and there's the best damn band in the land, and that's about the pecking order right there.
So you and Spielman went together for the $225,000. That's it?
Score one for the coach. 17-7 into the third. And Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines returns after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The 2007 Chevy Tahoe. It has an available 320 horsepower. With the best fuel efficiency in its class. Tahoe, the power to give something back. That's an American revolution.
Subway Dinner Theater presents The Unfed.
I smell a blockbuster, and for dinner, Subway restaurants!
Where you can get freshly baked bread every day. And with 5 delicious types to choose from, the whole family will be happy.
Subway! Eat! Eat!
This fall, plan your escape. Lost, the brand new season premieres Wednesday, October 4th at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Think it'll hold? Let's check it out. Do it.
Woo! Men should act like men, and light beer should taste like beer. Milwaukee's Best Light.
That's it.
Ohio schools. Administration here, classrooms over there. Ohio's problem, too little is spent in the classroom. My education plan caps administration spending. Moving $1.2 billion here to the classroom without raising property taxes. More money for teachers, books, computers. Our children need to be ready for a world economy. That happens here. $1 billion more into our classrooms without a Ted Strickland tax increase.
Hey, you have a good night.
Hey. Thought I'd mix it up a little. Men should act like men, and light beer should taste like beer. Milwaukee's Best Light.
That steer is found on the west side. We'll tell you what's next after the game.
Watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
And tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Outback Steakhouse as you look down here. Texas Memorial Stadium, Darrell Royal Field. The legendary coach in attendance here tonight. Sellout crowd, and the Horns have struggled. 17-7, they trailed the Buckeyes. They pulled it out a year ago in the fourth quarter in Columbus. Troy Smith incomplete, looking for Gonzalez, who's had the hot hand for the Bucs tonight. 7 catches, 122 yards, and a score for number 11.
Well, the last 2 incompletions by Troy Smith were dropped passes by the wide receivers. The receivers have had a good night, but it's one-on-one again. Ohio State spreading the Texas defense and secondary all over the field. One-on-one opportunity that time by Anthony Gonzalez to make a big play. Right in his hands, he just dropped the ball.
Matthew McConaughey has come down from his luxury box to the sideline and trying to whip up the Horn faithful.
Must have a new role there. How about that? Beard going.
Here's Troy on the move, and he'll just hike it out of bounds. Over there on that far sideline, Eddie George, of course, the Buckeyes' last Heisman Trophy winner, is in attendance, and so too is Chris Carter, their outstanding wide receiver. And there you see, look down at Eddie George there. He was their last Heisman Trophy winner. And you think there's Eddie moved on up the way. There's Chris. He and Eddie were together for a while.
You really feel like Texas needs a spark in the kicking game to turn this game around.
Booming a punt. Fielded by Ross. Short of the 40-yard line. Let's take a look at the Pac Life game summary here, Kirk.
Well, it's been a multiple of things, but of course it's been Troy Smith. He's been the difference in this game. Making big plays here. This is the biggest play probably right before the half, finding Teddy get isolated, going to the audible, making the play, but also the defense. Laurinaitis with a big hit, one of the turnovers that Ohio State's been able to force, and they've been able to put pressure on the quarterback, Colt McCoy, this time not seeing Laurinaitis, throwing it right into his chest early in the second half for a pick. Ohio State's had the upper hand because of the experience, and their young defense has played very well against Colt McCoy.
So that's your Pacific Life game summary. 14-20. And Texas needs to get something going. Middle, beautiful throw that time by McCoy. And there is Limas Sweed. And I don't think he's caught one since the second quarter.
That time, Texas did a nice job of protecting the quarterback, Colt McCoy, giving him time to look into the coverage. He saw one-on-one coverage, and he made a great throw for a first down for Texas. This is what they needed to start the drive. He had an open receiver underneath that he decided to pass on in Finley. Gets the big throw downfield.
19 yards, comes in underneath. A short gain to Cosby.
Should mention Texas going no huddle. A lot of times you see a team go to the no huddle to try to create some tempo, to get up, get to the line of scrimmage, less thinking, try to become the aggressor with the play calling.
It's interesting with Texas no huddle, shotgun, there's no snap count. This is all done on a silent snap. When the ball moves, Texas moves.
There's the inside handoff. Tough run by Selvin Young for the first down. And can the Horns finish this drive off and make a stand here?
Very important for Greg Davis not to abandon the run. Nice balanced attack. Got a big throw by Colt McCoy downfield. Now you got to continue to mix it up and be aggressive with the play calling. But don't go away from Selvin Young and Jamal Charles and their threat of running the football.
Going for it all. Sweet grabs it. And a battle. Let's see. They're going to wave it off. Incomplete. We'll take a look at the replay. They ruled incomplete. Did not have possession. The two officials right there. You saw a good picture of them looking to each other.
Boy, we've said, when are they going to get the football to Limas Sweed? This time they try to take advantage of his great size at 6'5", going up and over Malcolm Jenkins, the best cover corner for Ohio State. Malcolm Jenkins actually takes the ball away from Limas Sweed, and then when they fell to the ground, nobody had possession. By the time they did, they're out of bounds.
And Limas Sweed that time got away, Kirk, with putting his left hand on Malcolm Jenkins' shoulder and tugging him down a little bit. But what a great effort by Sweed.
Excellent coverage by Malcolm Jenkins. He deserves all the credit in the world on that play. Second down and 10. Sticking with the conservative call after going for all of it. So in this sequence, Marcus Freeman and Laurinaitis making the stop for the Buckeyes. This will put them in 3rd and long.
Neither team having a lot of success tonight against good defenses on 3rd and 3rd down. Ohio State 2 of 9 and Texas only 2 of 7. Again, the young quarterback, how does he handle this situation here, Coach, on 3rd and long?
And keep in mind, Vince Young's not here, Kirk, but Texas has won 21 straight ball games. This team ain't going to go away now.
Down by 10, they would even take a field goal in this situation if they can get a little bit closer now. They're going to drop it off to incomplete as Selvin Young looked downfield and dropped it. Let's see if they're going to try a long one with Johnson. I think I see Greg coming onto the field. He's out of Georgia. Remember, transferred here from Vanderbilt. He was a freshman All-American.
Brent, really good decision by Colt McCoy. You could see that he looked downfield. He wanted to squeeze it into Finley, the tight end. But because Ohio State dropped the defensive end, Golston, it opened it up to the outside. If Selvin Young makes that catch, he has a shot at a first down.
Jordan Shipley is the holder. This is a 45-yarder. No good. Not even close. And a big miss at the 12-18 mark of the fourth quarter because they stayed back by 2 scores. The hold was fine. Just pulled it off to the right.
The country just got smaller. Southwest has lowered fares on our long-distance flights. See how we're taking low fares farther at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Now on DVD, Lost, the complete second season, the extended experience.
I came back to tell you we can take them.
Own the 7-disc set with over 8 hours of bonus secrets before the new season begins. Lost, the complete second season. Own it today.
It sure looked good on paper. But who's going to help you make sure it looks good on stage?
How long is this thing?
I don't know.
Now, come on, get to the good stuff.
Oh, stop. There it is.
Oh, that's it.
Wait, here it comes.
Nice.
Look at that.
I could watch that all day.
One more time?
Sure.
So I get football 24/7 with Dish Network. 24/7. Come on, man, you gotta feel it. I feel it. No, you have got to feel it.
All right. You're getting games every night of the week.
Okay.
It's about half the price of digital cable.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get the lawnmower.
Get football 24/7 and games every night of the week. Just $24.99 a month for 10 months. Dish Network. Better TV for all.
Tuesday, the Dancing with the Stars season premiere on ABC.
Singular All-America Player of the Week update. Notre Dame's Brady Quinn, 25 of 36, 287 yards, 3 touchdowns without a pick. Alana Quinn, all Irish. Text VOTE 87654 and your Singular wireless phone to vote.
And with that strong performance by Notre Dame, the vote following this game in the 2 polls is going to be interesting. If this stays, you would expect Texas to drop a couple of spots. But does USC move to 2, or does Notre Dame jump back up? The vote this week going to be very interesting. And the Buckeyes go to work on the clock, which brings up something that Mack Brown dislikes intently. And that is the clock starts after a change of possession. So down by 2 scores now with 11:50 to go. You know, Bob Davie, you have been there, the pressure that this puts on your offense when you're trying to play catch-up.
And particularly because, Brent, Ohio State has the ability to play with a fullback in the game, line up and run the ball. Here they're going back to their normal one-back spread. But Ohio State can pound it a little bit. They're not just a conventional spread offense.
But with Troy Smith and his experience, will not be surprised to see them continue to be aggressive even as the clock dwindles down.
2nd and 9. Putting it into Ginn's hands. Can Ginn get the first down? He does. First down for the Buckeyes, and a penalty flag is thrown further downfield. The one point that we must make here tonight, the Longhorns have missed Terrell Brown. The organization's done a great job.
Number 31 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Tacked on the end of the run. The play resulted.
Ross has had his hands full with Ted Ginn here tonight.
Well, Ross has been isolated a lot tonight on number 7 for Ohio State. They called the incidental face mask. They're going to add 5 yards on against Texas, but you have to go back to the play call. 2nd and long. You're thinking that they may want to try to run some clock. It just shows you how much confidence they have in Troy Smith making throws and making good decisions, that they can still be aggressive and now maybe get back to running the football.
The pros believe that Terrell Brown is the best corner here at Texas, even though he doesn't have blinding speed and he's missing tonight, suspended. They come back to Gonzalez over there, And Smith is moving the ball through the air.
And what a senior quarterback, a guy that's been through all that Troy Smith does for you. The confidence of Jim Tressel to throw this football here.
A lot of confidence. We've seen it now 2 plays in a row. But again, it's going back to Brent's point. It's Brandon Foster, the young corner who steps in for Terrell Brown. We've seen it all night, whether it's been Brandon Foster, Ryan Palmer, the Griffin brothers isolated. Ohio State's taken advantage of matchups away from Aaron Ross to try to exploit this Texas defense without Terrell Brown.
And we talk a lot about Vince Young, but let's not forget Vince. Let's not forget he had help defensively. Huff is with the Raiders. Griffin's with the Vikings. And here, Pittman is just shredding that Horn defense for another 1st and 10. So there are so many key players missing from this Longhorn team.
Very, very impressive drive here by Ohio State. Blocking downfield by the receivers. Tough, hard running by Antonio Pittman. But it's, again, the way they're able to mix up the play calling here late in the football game when you're expecting them to be conservative, they continue to attack. And, again, it's the confidence that they have in the quarterback, Troy Smith.
T.J. Downing, the offensive guard, a great block, Kirk, on that play.
False start, 75 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Brent, how impressive this is. When you put it in perspective, Mack Brown 44-3 at home in this stadium. He lost 2 games in 1999. His 2nd year, 44-3 in Austin.
It's like he took a shot tonight. He's working hard tonight.
This is a real struggle. You know, he had knee replacement on that left knee, and watching him in practice, he had to use a golf cart. He's had a little bit of hard time moving around, and I'm sure it's difficult standing down there on the sideline, especially the way they're playing. There's the penalty flag thrown by the umpire, and you all know what that means on this play. 9:33. The Buckeyes working on that clock.
Penalty obviously moves Ohio State back. 2nd penalty in a row. As we continue to talk about Terrell Brown, it's not just physically losing Terrell Brown, it's miscommunication in that secondary. Every time they're dropping back to throw, they're open receivers downfield.
Holding, offense, number 50, 10 yards, previous spot, still 1st down.
And that's Doug Dadish, the senior center from Warren, Ohio. Earlier it was the sophomore tackle Alex Boone, and moved over to that left tackle spot. Dadish moved off of it to center, and so Boone has not graded out as an A tonight, but he has a tremendous upside. He was at one of the very top offensive linemen in that class that was recruited. Both of these schools recruit so many outstanding football players. 1st and 25. The toss to Pittman. Trying to stay in bounds. The clock continues to run. There comes the penalty flag and a face mask. Roderick McElroy grabbing the face mask. Number 38. You can see him shaking his head, knowing what happened.
Well, if it's a personal foul, they're going to be kicking themselves after Ohio State had 2 miscues with penalties of their own.
Personal foul, face mask, number 38 on the defense. 15 yards, tacked on the end of the run. Automatic, 1st down.
McElroy gets out there, but he holds on to that face mask of Pittman and pulls. Anytime you pull and there's an official there, it's not only a face mask, but it's 15 yards in the 1st down.
And the freshman Roderick McElroy, Kirk, getting the start tonight because the junior Drew Kelson couldn't go, but that is a huge personal foul.
Ohio State was almost back to the point where they were probably ready to settle maybe for a field goal. But now the 1st down.
Through the hands of Pittman, plowing straight ahead. Last year, of course, let me check that. That was Chris Wells, the fine freshman running back. There he is right there. So let me correct myself. Chris, the freshman from Akron, Ohio. And didn't the Akron team today do itself proud against North Carolina State? Now we see that Pittman has come on to the field and replaced him.
Imagine in Akron, in a neighborhood where you have in the same area Chris Wells, Antonio Pittman, and Tyrell Sutton all playing in the same Pee Wee League. There's some talent growing up in Akron, Ohio.
Indeed, Sutton, a great runner at Northwestern. 2nd down and 8. Deflected, incomplete. And that was Brian Robison doing what he does best. One of the more athletic defensive linemen in the country, jumping up and knocking it down. And Jim Tressel now, the 3rd and 8, checking that playbook. And he usually is lethal in a situation like this. He knows how to use a clock. He's very conservative. And as Kirk pointed out, he's got the added advantage of a veteran quarterback. He can put up high percentage passes in this situation. Let's see what Tressel and Troy Smith come up with here. They're going to throw for it. 1st down, Buckeyes inside the 10-yard line. And number 80, Brian Robisky, the sophomore, Cleveland, makes the play in the 1st down.
And you have to love that Brian Robisky, Kirk, comes back after dropping the ball on the critical 3rd down earlier. And how about the confidence to throw the ball again in that situation?
Troy Smith, the confidence, they're aggressive again, but going back, I hate to continue to pound on this, but Brandon Foster, Griffin, we've seen that this time falling down as he's in coverage on a big 3rd down play. Brandon Foster just lost his footing and it allowed Robisky to pick up the 1st down.
Reaching a handoff and battling for the goal line. Antonio Pittman, the ball carrier. It'll be 2nd down and goal. And you would think the way things have gone here tonight, if Tressel and the Buckeyes can score 7 here, it will be game, set, and match. Still got 7 minutes to go. Lots of things can happen. But the Texas offense has not been explosive here tonight.
9 plays, 70 yards, over 5 minutes off the clock, mixing the run with the throw. It's the advantage in college football of having a quarterback that can make good decisions and give you that trust to call any play you want.
Deontay Johnson, the fullback, trying to drop the hammer. For the end zone, they want the signal. Nothing yet.
On the carry.
Touchdown, Antonio Pittman. And the Buckeye Nation has this one in hand now. It would take a Texas miracle to pull this out.
Boy, great effort here, Brent. Inside here, just a good push by the offensive line, some penetration by Killebrew, but hard running that time, and he gets the push. And Pittman shows he has the toughness when he gets down to the goal line to get it ball into the end zone.
Now, this is one that they should review to take a look to make sure that the ball broke the plane as the officials come in. And remember, Mack Brown cannot challenge it. He'd already used his challenge. Petrie tacks on the extra point. 24-7. So we go back to the point we made earlier in this game. You want to take that challenge to the 4th quarter. Even if you are going to lose it, make sure you got it, just in case.
It's too small. Car's too small.
Autoclaustrophobia. It's taken a devastating toll. But its days are numbered, thanks to the all-new Nissan Versa. Versa treats small car symptoms with best-in-class interior space.
Now this is roomy.
Versa lets you be carefree and hands-free with Bluetooth technology. I like that. Versa will help you take control of autoclaustrophobia today. Ask your Nissan dealer if Versa is right for you.
You're so cute.
Get full from Taco Bell's value menu.
Bruno, what is the holdup?
I'm full.
Not possible. You are hungry, Bruno. 9-time competitive eating champion. You don't get full.
80 half-pound burrito for warm-up.
Hungry Bruno, fool!
Introducing
Introducing Taco Bell's half-pound value menu lineup. Now fill up on any of 3 hefty half-pound burritos. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
This premiere is huge.
Gotta see this in high def.
Hear what everyone's saying about the HD movie event of the season.
It portrays our kind in a positive light, which is nice.
We're getting ready for the big premiere on Comcast. Jerry is an HD freak.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be amazing.
The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. See the HD premiere at Stars HD On Demand. Only with Comcast Digital Cable. It's Comcastic.
Troy Smith and the Buckeyes have this one well under control, 24-7. Dominated. You go back to the key play in this game, and it well could be Laurinaitis forcing a fumble very early in the game when it looked like the Longhorns were going to strike. And Eddie George, the last of the Heisman Trophy winners, enjoying this one down on the sideline.
Having a little fun with the Texas fans.
Why not?
And one thing all those NFL players say, and the Texas players were talking about this yesterday, all those guys in the NFL call back and say, look, the best time you're ever going to have is when you're in college.
Exactly. No doubt about it. Justin Blaylock, the right tackle who we're going to see coming out here. He certainly talked to Roy Williams, he told us. And that's one of the reasons why he came back. 24-7, 6:27 to go. Number 1 in control, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they're going to be challenged for a title all the way this year.
No. It's too small.
Autoclaustrophobia. It affects more people than you think. But there's hope on the horizon, and it's called the Nissan Versa. Versa provides relief with best-in-class rear seat legroom. Versa keeps you going for over 400 miles on just one tank. Versa will save the world from autoclaustrophobia, one driver at a time. Ask your Nissan dealer if Versa is right for you.
Who's ready for me?
Don't forget about us, Stevie.
With Glidden Team Colors paint, you can get the official colors of your favorite team.
Sir, you're all set.
Whoever that may be. Exclusively from Glidden and only at the Home Depot.
What if you could get rid of the things you don't like about credit cards? The hype, the confusion. What if you could start over, and this time, do it right?
Live Tuesday, all of America will be doing it. 11 competitive stars in a 2-hour season premiere.
That was supersonic.
Dancing with the Stars, live Tuesday, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines, the low fare from here to there. It's on Southwest Airlines at southwest.com. Next Generation Thinking, brought to you by the Nissan Versa. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Tonight's area coverage been brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Mac Brown told us a little anecdote about the President of the United States, President Bush. He's a big Texas fan, and he likes to go to bed early at night, and the Rose Bowl was still unfolding. He tried to go off with about 7 minutes to go, and he got up and he had to watch the rest of the game. And I dare say tonight in the White House, he's tucking himself in, folks. 24/7 now with 6 minutes to go.
you know, what concerns you if you're a Texas fan is not only losing this football game, but look at the production that they've had in the past under Mack Brown. And a lot of that had to do with the way they were able to get it done with Vince Young and being very versatile. But the thing that I've seen tonight, playing at home, they didn't show as much fire and intensity as they played with last year. Now, we're going to say that's all because of Vince Young? I don't know.
They were shut out by Oklahoma. It was not last year, but the year before. In 2004, I believe it was 12-0 in the Red River shootout. And don't anybody dare give up on the Longhorns. Let me just say this right now. There's some football players down there. They had a cornerback suspended. They got another little youngster over there at quarterback that's pretty good. They got some talented football players here. They ran up against the buzzsaw tonight that's been waiting for a year to hammer back for that tough loss up in Columbus. These Buckeyes are going to be challenging for a national championship, and Longhorns just had their hands full. They were just outmatched here tonight, that's all. You'd lose one and you'd go on to the next one.
And I think we really have to talk about this Ohio State defense. I know, Kirk, you live in Columbus, obviously. They were uptight coming down here because this young defense last week gave up a lot of yards to Northern Illinois, but they have played outstanding. And that guy right there, number 33, go back to that play early in the game. That was the game-changing play. Laurinaitis causing that fumble.
The other thing coming into this game is the Ohio State coaches felt that they were kind of assuming things, how this team would react, but they really didn't know because they've never been in this kind of situation. All of a sudden, after the game, players start to surface, leadership starts to surface, and the man that you just mentioned, James Laurinaitis, all of a sudden starts to become one of the anchors for the Ohio State defense.
Almost blocked. I mean, they almost picked that one. And they're going to have great field position as a result. One of the great streaks in college football is coming to an end, and it's not Mack Brown's winning streak, folks. We'll talk about Gene Chizik. 29 straight wins as a defensive coordinator when we come back.
Why you always get the front seat?
Because I have the higher education.
What do you
I
mean?
took honors classes.
In high school.
Hey, it's Bobby Bowden. I'm gonna touch him.
Now would be a good time to have accident forgiveness.
I'm still gonna touch him.
Part of Allstate Your Choice Auto Insurance. Are you in good hands?
That wasn't him.
But you still touched him.
When you have one of the best money market rates in the country, you just have to celebrate. Go to eTrade.com and be blown away.
Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Oh, and my parents are coming too.
Introducing Red Zone Deep Cleansing Body Wash, the active formula with microbeads. Cleans deep down to the pore.
I thought you said he was a fan.
Old Spice Deep Cleansing Body Wash. Nothing cleans deeper.
One by one, they're coming. 5 new vehicles that will change the way you experience the road. 5 new vehicles that embody the next generation of Nissan thinking for the next generation of Nissan drivers. One by one, they're coming. Get ready. Shift 2.0 is here.
Four teams, 2 coasts, one memorable Monday night. Joe Gibbs and Washington begin their championship run against former Redskin Brad Johnson and the Vikings. Then Chargers star LaDainian Tomlinson visits Randy Moss and the Raiders. Vikings, Redskins, Chargers, Raiders. Starting at 7 Eastern, a doubleheader season premiere of ESPN's Monday Night Football.
As you look down on, for the large part, a very disappointed crowd. We remind you that over on SportsCenter, we'll have full post-game coverage from Austin when it ends. Randy Moss has issues with Coach. I mean, that shocks us, doesn't it, folks? Last race before the chase. They come down the stretch in NASCAR. You won't be taking any, Art Shell's not taking a lick from anybody, I'm telling you that right now. And they start to go to work on the clock here with the youngster Chris Wells. End up Kirk, you've watched him back in the scrimmage, back in Columbus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Future star, superstar. He came in a little bit early, had a chance to go through spring ball. Talking to him, he said, you know, my head was spinning. There was so much going on with learning new terminology, adjusting to the speed of the game. He said, I just wasn't ready. And he said, right in the middle of two-a-days, the light went on. I started to emerge and feel more comfortable, kind of like I did in high school. And now the tandem of Antonio Pittman and Chris Wells gives Jim Tressel the best tailbacks he's had since he's been at Ohio State.
Here he comes, stopped by the Gene Chizik coached defense. And folks, if you're not aware, there he is, 29 consecutive games. He was the defensive coordinator in the unbeaten season at Auburn. Came in here last year, and he is a future head coach waiting to happen. Anyone at the end of this season interested in a coach should, and he's not, trust me, he didn't ask me to say this. He's one of the most impressive assistants you'd ever want to be around. And he is the full package for some organization. And who knows, maybe they'll keep him right here in Austin. But he is a wonderful, wonderful coach. And Bob Davie, I don't have to tell you what it's like for a coordinator to be on the winning side 29 straight times. That's just phenomenal.
And the thing you like about Gene Chizik, he's humble. He tells you he was at a great program at Auburn that has a bunch of good defensive players with Tommy Tuberville, and he comes in here to Texas and he inherited the same thing. But you're right, 29 straight wins is an amazing stat.
What I love is how he downplays it. We want to come in, we all want to talk in the media about his streak, and he said, you know, it's about the players. It's not about me. As Coach just said, he's been around a lot of great players and a team that believes in his philosophy, and that's helped him to become a great coordinator, future great head coach.
You know what's amazing to me? Ohio State now, how talented are they? They had 5 first-round draft picks last year that left this program, correct? And 9 overall draft picks. Yep. To come down here and do what they did tonight with a young football team.
Buckeyes will use a timeout here with 1:41. The end is near. And TCU will have the longest win streak when this one ends. 11 straight wins. Ohio State and West Virginia would have
9. It's a place that breathes life into ideas. A network for the creative thinkers, entrepreneurs, and pioneers of tomorrow. Is it any wonder that sitting at its center is a university whose sole purpose is helping people discover theirs? We're Texas. What starts here changes the world.
24-7, and Kirk, you just handed me a great note here. If Texas doesn't score the first time ever that a #1 has gone on the road and held a #2 to single digits.
Team breaking in 9 new defensive starters, goes on the road, holds Texas so far to 284 yards of total offense and 7 points. An impressive and amazing feat by this Ohio State defense. We talked a lot about Gene Chizik, but Jim Haycock on the other side, defensive coordinator, did a great job for Ohio State.
Well, today's Chevrolet players of the game. There they are, the 2 quarterbacks, Troy Smith, Colt McCoy. Troy had a huge night, 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. What a big night for Troy Smith and the Buckeyes.
We may have differing opinions up here about the Heisman after 2 weeks, but the reason Troy Smith is a Heisman candidate over his own teammate Teddy Ginn is because the way he provides leadership and because his hands are on the football every single play for this Ohio State offense.
And my thoughts go to Colt McCoy, a happy-go-lucky, kind of bright-eyed guy. Everything's going great. Everything's going wonderful. He will now find out what it's like to be a major college quarterback in a place like Austin, because I don't care how much they love the name, the heat will start to happen right now on this kid. We'll find out how he responds after this game.
What was the name of the town?
Tuscola.
He went from Tuscola to all of a sudden the big stage.
So we want to take a quick look at the ESPNU All-State Standings review, because I mentioned earlier Notre Dame's going to jump a very, very impressive win. USC could jump up to #2. We'll be out there in the Coliseum, Nebraska, USC next week. All right, Kirk, You got to vote. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna keep Ohio State obviously at 1, but Notre Dame was 2 for me last week, so Notre Dame for me will be 2, and then USC at 3 with Auburn at 4.
I got to teach him how to promote the upcoming game, Bob.
So you're leading me towards USC?
USC.
You're going to team me up on USC now?
Go Trojans.
You know, there's some things that Lee Corso hasn't taught him yet. You know,
a little tease there?
There's a first down and Self and Young out to the this was great fun this week, and I'll tell you, Kirk, nobody works any harder in college football than you do. I can't believe your schedule. And Bob, we look forward to seeing you out on the West Coast. We had great fun with this. It's such a wonderful staff to deal with. Folks, I'm at practice the other day waiting for Max to come out. Here comes the golf cart, and guess who's sitting next to him? There's Bob Davis, man, over there. He and the coach are coming to practice together. That was pretty good, that.
Yeah, until you pushed me out and yanked me out and jumped on the cart.
There's a swing incomplete now. So Troy Smith is the hero of the night, and boy, he's put together some great games. It's wonderful to see this progress of a young man. You know, some youngsters don't make it; they fall by the wayside for whatever variety of reasons. And but this young man hung in there, took his punishment, came back better than ever. It's terrific.
Start looking at the big picture now for Ohio State. It's a non-conference game. You know, conference games always matter, but you start thinking about a chance to maybe run the table, and they have some big themes coming up on the road later that we'll probably have a chance to see them play in.
You bet. And they'll have a dandy to go down to Iowa City. There's a back with a great future. Huh? Charles has got that little burst. Bob, it won't be long before he takes one to the house against somebody. They play Rice, I believe, don't they? Next week. Go ahead.
You know what's great about him is you think about him being a track guy running a 10-100, but he doesn't play football. He's a football player who happens to show up and is able to run a 10-1. He is not a track guy. He is a tough football player.
Well, they found another star linebacker, didn't they?
Sure did.
There's McCoy. Laurinaitis is there. Pops will be proud of him tonight.
Kirk, you played in a lot of big games. You agree with me, nothing is more fun than to come into an environment like this, and you've got your little group of 4,000 fans, and enjoy this victory on the road. This is about as good as it gets as a football player or a coach to come into this stadium like this and win this
especially
game.
After the way Ohio State and Texas had a classic last year in Columbus, and you felt that the winner had a shot to get to the national title, and the Longhorns eventually won. I think that's been burning the fans and the team to get back to have an opportunity to play Texas, and now to have the upper hand after last year. You probably see a pretty good celebration with the 4,000 fans in the corner when the clock goes off.
There's a lot of classy fans down here. I talked to some Buckeyes who traveled down here, and they said the folks have been awful nice to them. And then they walked around the streets of Austin, and they've had a good time bringing the band down in here. There you are, part of the Buckeye Nation. And over at the Irwin Center, I'm sure they've enjoyed it on the big screen over there. Athletic Director Gene Smith, he was the host for a big group that came down here. And they just had a wonderful time, and of course, winning the football game. Now that's just frosting, folks. And there's a penalty. That might have been a face mask. I don't know. We'll hang on to Selvin Young, cutting across the field, looking to pick up a block, and he's to the 23 with the final seconds right there, and Anderson Russell making the stop. But again, there was a penalty flag thrown. That was holding. I was wrong about that. I thought there might have been a hand right there. But so Mack Brown and his staff will go back to work. He's still got plenty left on the table. And one thing about losing early, you can gain some ground. You don't want to be losing late in this BCS thing, but early you can come back a little bit.
Well, we're going to find out how good Texas is in the coming weeks. It's a much, much tougher schedule this year than what they had a year ago. And if Terrell Brown affected this team on defense, that's one thing. But personally, I want to see the fire. I want to see the intensity and the leadership that this team played with last year, because tonight it wasn't on display.
All I can say, folks, is that Ohio State came to Austin and messed with Texas. And there's a handshake. Let's go to Lisa.
Hey,
Hey, good job.
Thanks, Brent. Troy, it turns out that the difference in the game was that touchdown that you guys scored late in the first half. What did you see on that defense that made you audible?
It was just basic calls all day involving their safety. That was a great play, but the whole game was a good game. Without the guys up front doing a great job, I think we only allowed 1 sack today, and that was huge. It was them up front.
Now, knowing that one of their key corners was suspended for this game, how were you able to just pick apart their secondary?
I can't say enough, more than, it's our game plan. It's our coaching. It's the coaching staff. They put in endless hours of film study, and, we are in there with them also, but it's our staff. They do a great job.
After that heartbreaking loss in Columbus last year, what's it like for you to get this one here on their turf now?
Oh, no. It's not a revenge thing. Any and every win that we get during the course of the season is a good win.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Brent.
Thank you, Lisa. Troy Smith, a serious Heisman candidate now, as he leads the Buckeyes to a 24-7 victory in Austin, Texas. And a reminder now to tune into SportsCenter on ESPN if you missed any of the scores and highlights from earlier in the day. Get caught up with everything. And a reminder also, join us next week. Saturday Night Football on ABC will feature Nebraska versus USC from the Los Angeles Coliseum. And here tonight, folks, it was the thrill of it for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
This has been a special presentation of ESPN College Football on ABC.
You want to come on Thursday?
Seriously?
It's a clear day in this city. Let's go dance under the streetlights. All the people in this world, let's come together more than ever. I can feel it. Can you feel it? Come on over. Down to the corner. My sisters and my brothers of every different color. Don't you feel that sunshine? Telling you to hold tight. Things will be alright. Try to find a better life. Come on over. Man, I know you wanna let yourself go. I can feel it. Can you feel it? Come on over. Down to the corner. My sisters and my brothers. There for one another, won't you? Down to the corner. We can leave it all behind. Never been a better time.
Grey's Anatomy, 6 Degrees, premiering Thursday, September 21st, only on ABC.
Orlando Wagner for Delta Dental. What puts a smile on this bright kid's mind? Heavy metal. Amazing feats. And Delta Dental. Our group dental plans make it easy for Orlando and his mom to stay healthy while giving them access to the nation's largest networks of participating dentists. That's big. And Orlando and his mom know big. Got a smile on your mind? Choose Delta Dental.
You can almost feel the game on a flat panel TV at H.H. Gregg. Kind of like being there. Only better. Fact is, with all the brands and various technologies, it's hard to keep up. We keep up. Let us help you choose the flat panel TV that's right for you at the right price. More flat panel TVs, better prices. H.H. Gregg. Go team!
Stay back from the flat panel TVs, George. It's a blitz.
I'm worried about how I'm going to send my kids to college.
Tuition is going through the roof.
There's a plan on the ballot this November that provides hope.
The Ohio Learn and Earn College Scholarship.
By dedicating part of the revenue from limited and state-regulated slot machines.
We can give every child the opportunity
to earn college tuition.
Almost $1 billion a year without raising taxes.
And unlike the lottery,
funds are 100% dedicated by law. Ohio Learn and Earn.
A lot of good will come of this.
Good morning, Tri-State. Greater Cincinnati's fastest growing morning newscast is your wake-up call every weekday morning. Covering the top stories of the day with breaking news now. Now, the weather technology leader brings you the most accurate weather forecast in the market with Weather Now and Ultimate Doppler 9. And Good Morning Tri-State is on your side, making your morning commute faster with traffic now. Tune in to Good Morning Tri-State for your wake-up call.
Laser vision correction. We've all heard of LASIK. Now there are other procedures and even new lasers. It's hard to know what's right for you. That's why you need the advice of an experienced eye care team. At the Midwest Eye Center, we'll give you all the facts about vision correction and help you choose a procedure that's right for you. Clear up the confusion about vision correction. Give us a call. Call the Midwest Eye Center today for your free vision consultation at 385-EYES.
K&G has over 4,000 men's suits in every store, starting at just $99.99. So you'll find what you're looking for, no matter what you're looking for. K&G Fashion Superstore. Call 1-800-GO-SHOP-KG.
It's so easy to switch to digital phone service from Time Warner, and over 100,000 of your friends and neighbors already have. Some switch for savings. Digital Cable and Roadrunner customers can add digital phone for as low as $25 more per month, and they can save even more by bundling phone, cable, and Roadrunner services into one low bill. Some switch for service because Time Warner has over 1,700 on staff making sure you're satisfied. It's so easy to switch to Time Warner digital phone service. Call today.
WMKV 89.3 FM. The old-time radio shows have returned. Theater of the Mind, Mystery Playhouse, The Big Broadcast. WMKV 89.3 FM.
Traffic Now. Exclusive maps to make your morning commute faster.
Police search for a car they think is linked to the murder of an elderly woman here in the Tri-State.
Little Red is resting tonight, now out of the woods.
And the summer returned today. Will it stick around for the rest of the weekend? My Ultimate Doppler 9 forecast is just ahead.
From the team on your side, this is 9 News at 11.
Good evening. We're following developing news tonight in Erlanger, where police are investigating a rare and disturbing homicide.
The body of an 83-year-old woman was found this morning in her Erlanger Village apartment. The complex is on the Erlanger-Florence border near Dixie Highway. 9 News reporter Lance Berry is live there tonight.
Well, it was the victim's daughter who came here to the apartment after not being able to get a hold of her mom on the phone, and within just moments of entering the apartment behind me, she had discovered why. It's a neighborhood where crime tape isn't ever seen.
It was craziness. I woke up and saw like 7 cruisers and all this tape and all that.
Inside this second-floor unit, 83-year-old Alma Sauer's life was taken, discovered by her daughter earlier this morning. Erlanger police say the murder likely happened yesterday afternoon, claiming the life.
Losing to Texas on their home turf a year ago. And so with Kirk Herbstreit and Bob Davie, we had a wonderful night here. And let's talk about Troy Smith, guys.
Well, I think he was obviously the difference in the game. We could pick out different plays, different players, but Troy Smith's performance, I thought, was just a difference. Having a veteran quarterback on the road early in the season made such a big difference for Ohio State with their play calling, him recognizing coverage, that time audibilizing and finding Teddy Ginn all alone, one-on-one. He's able to make him pay for it, but having a quarterback that you know is going to make good decisions, Coach, I think it allows you to be aggressive with your play calling, and boy, he took advantage of it.
No question. And my thought is, what a difference one football player makes. You talk about Troy Smith, but I go to the other side. How about Texas? Virtually their entire team coming back, but no Vince Young. And you could feel the effects of that really from the first quarter on. One football player at that position makes a huge difference. And how about the Ohio State defense? 9 new starters, but they weren't playing against Vince Young.
They played hard tonight.
And when the game was over, Lisa Salters caught up with Ohio State coach Jim Tressel.
Coach, they have come behind so many times before, including last year in Columbus. What was it that you guys were able to do to say not this time?
Our kids kept playing, and they trained hard for this. We played against a very good football team. Mack and his staff do a great job. This was a great college football game. I'm sure the people watching had a treat.
Now, you guys were up 10 in the fourth quarter, about 10 minutes to go or so. You didn't play conservatively. You continued to attack. Why?
Well, we had to. They're too good at defense. They're one of the best defenses in the country, and you have to keep them off balance. They're a good team, and our kids played hard. They played their hearts out, and Troy Smith did a great job as a leader, and those guys on defense are special. 259
yards passing for Troy, 2 touchdowns. What impressed you most about your Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback?
Well, his composure. To come into someone's house like this, it's loud, it's hostile, playing against a good team. He just did what he had to do.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Troy. After what happened in Columbus last year, how does it feel for you to be able to sing your school's fight song on their turf now?
Well, it's not about that. We sing our school's fight song because we're proud of that. It's not because it's on their turf. We have nothing but respect for the Longhorns.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way.
Well, there is no question that Ohio State will stay number 1. Bob Davie, who would you vote number 2 in the country right now?
I'm going with Notre Dame. After seeing the way they won that game in Atlanta last week and what they did today to Penn State, I think Notre Dame's the second best team in the country.
I think people jumped the gun last week. Notre Dame was on the road. They played in a tough environment. Georgia Tech has one of the best defensive coordinators. They played with a lot of emotion. I wasn't surprised. I thought Notre Dame was number 2 even after last week's performance. So I agree. I think Notre Dame's number 2 and SC would be 3.
It's interesting because there's no argument about number 1. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes.
All right, guys, thanks very much. TCU now has the nation's longest win streak at 12 as the Horned Frogs knocked off UC Davis tonight. Meanwhile, this was the earliest meeting ever between a number 1 and number 2 in the history of the AP poll by a full week over Notre Dame and Michigan back in 1989. And the Buckeyes go on to win it, snapping the Longhorns' win streak at 21.
Results from the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 and Rich